Did my request go through?
Stress sigh. No, I only heard the first part about spending time with Kalina. What else did you say?
Oh, if nothing else, I wanted to check on the flower. That unfortunately I did forget to re-look up the name, which was I was supposed to do. That was on the battlements.
Oh, the gee golly gosh, I'm gonna forget it too. The river lily.
There was some name to it, and I was supposed to look up stream before or where the name came up, and I forgot again. But yeah, I want to check up on it.
Very well. Well, that's easy enough. When you go to find it, it is no longer there.
Aw, no trace then.
Nope. No sign of a stalk or any sign that it had ever existed.
Dang. But yeah, just I don't think anything. I cannot think of anything specific for quality time with Kalina, but I'm gonna spend some time with Kalina, whether
Yep.
it just be talking a bit or just being quiet in each other's company. But, and sleep down there if she lets me.
She would.
Remark that it reminds me of home sometimes. So again, so like to sleep around.
Seeing
That's
Edelweiss do that, Lars will probably end up doing the same. And for his things he's gonna do in the meantime, read some books and also write up a list in his notes of. I know what I need to make my own shot, but I want to procure a all the things I need to be able to make my own shot, basically. Not shot, bullets. And that's it, really.
Very well.
He will also pick a place downstairs that's kind of near the entrance. Do another tripwire without a bell, so it'll be a tripwire like attached to his like something, and and just let Portia roam free downstairs.
Okay. Very well. What about the remaining shifts for watch?
Oh.
We have shifts
Nikolai will
1,
take
2, and
second.
3.
Lars will take first.
Okay, Lars. Nikolai, I heard you speak up.
Nikolai will take second.
Okay.
I think it would make more sense to take second instead. If we can reiterate, we can go back on that, just because that would mean Mortar had his first shift, then he can wake me up for a second shift, and then it would be easier than having to.
You mean you don't want someone to have to do the impossibly long flight of stairs just to go wake someone up for a shift? Just what you need to do. 10 flights of stairs right before you lie down for bed.
Yeah.
Oh, is it 10 flights down to Kalina's room?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah, it's deep.
I
It's
think-
deep. That's why digging took you guys a while. Even when you guys had it expedited, it still took a while.
So I think that sounds fine, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. If Edelweiss says that, he'll take third then.
Okay. Switch. Okay. Well, time will progress as everyone goes about their business. Around 6 p.m., presumably around the time you guys are sitting down to enjoy a nice, warm pot of something bubbly and filled with some of the wild ingredients that Kenna has collected and of some of the meat that has been hunted. You will receive a message in the accustomed manner of the telepathy that Krista has as one of her talents. It'll start initially as kind of an itch at the back of your head, and then eventually, when the sort of buzzing focuses in and hones to a single pointed sound, is when you hear her voice echo through your mind. Good evening, brother.
Yes. It's definitely an opinion.
Well, I suppose greetings from my good evening, where I have
Well,
just come from a hot bath and a warm meal prepared by our chef.
audible telepathic blink. Okay. Well, let's start off with you then, because I have something very interesting to say. But why don't you tell me of your good evening then?
Well, I only mentioned those activities because, well, I had a very busy day and I needed to relax after doing so. I have two things of interest. Both, funnily enough, happen to involve the von Bismarck boy. Firstly, the individuals that ambushed me and the guards that were with me on the road returning to the capital were hegemony. Unfortunately, if they are companions of his, most of them are now dead, save for the one that is locked in the cellars beneath the homestead. Who has been a good boy and not revealed anything to me. However, as most people tend not to know, we have our ways. And you can almost hear an audible smile, even though there's like nothing said or any intonation, but you can just feel the smile pull out her lips.
Yeah.
The other half
Well.
is that while I was interested in the event that the von Bismarck boy mentioned, I decided to look into the land where his family used to reside. It was known for being one of the richest sources of adamantite on this side of the continent. That is what his family harvested and used in a lot of their production. I wanted to see what happened to the land in the years since. Well, to my surprise, someone with the von Bismarck name has claimed it, and they are currently rebuilding on the land and starting up a new business. But that is all I have for now. You understand how quickly word travels, which is sometimes not very at all. I'm having some people verify information for me and get identities of the individuals that are starting the business and who is using the family's name to claim the land, which it has to hold some authority, otherwise Harbor wouldn't allow it.
That'd be especially interesting, seeing as they were the style in which they were attacked. I wouldn't be so brazen to reset up a business like that.
The only thing that can be assumed is that if it is a blood relative with the name, building the business back up, they would have been the one that arranged it. Knowing that no one left in the family can do anything to stop them, they would just come back in and swoop into everything that legally belongs to them. But as I said,
Interesting acquisition.
we will see when more information arrives. Feel free to dispense that to him in any way, shape, or form he would like. And if you could, pry from him some descriptions of the individuals that he worked with, I think would be polite to inform him that potentially some of his comrades in arms have perished, if they are in fact his.
Oh. Yeah. Well, for right now, at least on the matters of his family... accent coming back, blah blah. It would probably be best if I didn't mention that right now until you got a little bit more information. We don't know whether it's a good or bad situation for him. Better to gain a little bit more knowledge on the matter beforehand. And as for his associates... I don't know how I would want to deal with that or if I would want to tell him at all.
Well, nothing says you have to, and I'm certainly not going to force you.
Well, if there's anything interesting that you get out of his last associate, that's my change. I haven't detected any ill will from him. I wouldn't see why he would have people attack us. If it was him, it may not have been him at all. He may not have even known it happened.
Oh no,
So-
I agree. I was not implying he was the source of the attack. I was merely implying someone hired assassins from the hegemony to attempt to kill me. That is all I'm getting at. There are many assassins, and they don't always know if other ones are nearby, so I'm not placing any blame on him. I'm just merely alerting you that perhaps his fellows that he had left behind since he's been traveling with you perhaps got a job to kill me. That is all.
Fair enough. Well, that sounds mighty fun. But,
Tell that to the assassins that are
Very-
now dead and buried.
it was probably a little bit of fun for them.
You have an odd sense of fun, brother. Anyway,
Okay.
on to your great news.
Great? I probably wouldn't use the word. Interesting, definitely. So, what would you like to start with? Would you like to start with the very big thing, or the not so big but probably still big thing?
Do either of them have to do with something that you did in direct consequence of?
No, for once, these were out of my control entirely.
I'm surprised. Well, then I guess we start with the small thing and work up to the big thing, then.
Oh, we have met some type of... It worries me. Some type of intelligent creature. It's like a crystal. It talked. It was very unhappy. Paraphrasing. It wanted to eat the world.
Do you mean like an elemental? You're being very vague, brother.
That's because it is very vague. It was an intelligent crystal that said its plan was to basically eat the world.
Sounds like something a primordial would utter.
It may have been. I don't know. And in relation to that, yeah, I see how Kenna can burn down an entire camp. She's a little, she has a lot of flame powers.
Then
And-
it is probably for the best that I sent you out into the middle of nowhere.
Looks away a bit. Like, well, that is all we really know with that. I could detect that it was intelligent of some sort, which is even scarier. It seemed to spread. So, this area, we may have to send probably some more talented guardsmen up here, or pay a hunter group or two to scour the forest.
Okay, I'll
worries
make
me.
note of it. And I'm going to have to insist at some point you try to give me a more detailed description. Because if we're going to hire someone to hunt down a angry world-eating crystal thing, I feel like we owe it to them to at least give them a better idea as to precisely what it is they're hunting. Lest we just send innocent souls to their deaths, should it be something they can't handle.
Yes, I would rather not do that, although I worried, because even with this group's power, the only way we could really defeat it was apparently by pulling something straight out of a fantasy. Although, our powers are that too, so that's not exactly unheard of. Yeah, a lot. there's probably a good 100 feet of forest in a 100-foot radius of forest that's just charred black. So yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, the other thing, because that's all I can describe about that without sort of showing you what I have. Can Nikolai send images through the telepathic connection, or is it only
No,
words?
it's just words.
Okay. Well, on to the other thing.
Yes, the big thing.
The very big thing, and this is a literal big thing because it is a dragon. A gold dragon.
Long pause. Do you mean the remains of a dragon? A statue of a dragon?
No. A gold dragon. The dwarves here were apparently doing something very interesting with it. They managed to separate a piece of it. It's inert right now, but there's no signs that I didn't go and touch it, but we could see it. I wouldn't say remains. I would say it could probably be reactivated if someone were to touch buttons they shouldn't, which admittedly I wanted to, but yes, a gold dragon. A large one at that. It wasn't small. It was decently large.
Dragon locked under the earth. That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yes.
And what do you think we should do with them?
Honestly, I don't know. The group really doesn't want to mess with it at all. I'm under the assumption that if we go into the room, it probably won't activate and we may get a little bit more information about its status. But they have decided that we will not touch it. So we're leaving it alone. I don't know if the knows the name of the group, the Shalshir,
Chelsea, yeah.
maybe. Oh, them. If they would be more knowledgeable about it, I don't know.
Well, they are experts in dragons. If anyone would know, it would be them.
Yeah.
Would you like me to contact a branch?
Hmm. No, not right now. I can do it when I get back, and describe to the group. Well, describe to my group, who they are, and then see if they'd be willing to talk to them, because this is quite big, and I don't think they'd want to tell anyone. But I'm of the inclination that who best to talk to about it than the experts in dragons.
I concur. And are you feeling well? You sound a little disconcerted.
Well, I took a dunk in an ice lake, and now I'm exhausted. So, You may not like it, but I'm probably going to have the group move with me back to the capital. Right now, tomorrow we're gonna head out to Daria, put our ear to the ground, Gwen says, and listen out. I'm gonna ask Barrick, the captain of the guard there, if he's heard anything. Because yes, dragons, all-consuming crystal. The undead that are around, I believe I told you of that. Yeah. Although we dealt with the undead, there's probably nothing anywhere there. But got to check in. And who knows what else the captain of the guard might say for information.
Very well.
And if nothing comes up there, then we will. I might probably not say probably. Yeah. We might come back. We'll probably stay in Daria for a day or so. Spend some time there, resupply. And then when we next talk, I may have an answer about where we will be going.
Very well. Speak to Captain Kanan.
Oh.
Yes.
So we found a meteor of dandelion.
Do not know what that is.
It is a really, really rare metal.
I figured. Yes, I gathered. Considering I don't know what it is, that makes sense.
Has magical properties. Here's something that I don't know if Nikolai would know. Is the story of how the Olduz elves came, or is that story of how they came to Eldarth widely known, or is it like a rumor or myth that's widely known, or is it just not shared?
It's predominantly a myth. Okay. Given that they arrived quite a great time ago, and it's pretty rare to see a star elf anywhere, basically. So it's a matter of people. That's just what people know of them now. So whenever they see them, they're kind of like these mythical creatures because they came and lived from another place beyond this world, which is a bit of a reach for a lot of people.
Well, the myth of the oldest elves. Apparently, their ships were made out of this material. Very, very tough. And can go for a very, very nice amount. Anywhere from 10k to 100k, depending if we find the right buyer or not. Although, Lars has mentioned that, I believe he has. There is someone that might want to notify. A dwarf he worked with and trying to pick up.
Well, to be quite frank, that matters not to me. If it is as valuable as you say it is, I think it's worth mentioning to Father and having a work crew sent out to retrieve it.
Indeed. I'm just referencing it because the dwarf may be someone to look into for Lars' sake.
Very well.
Where is his name? I knew I have it somewhere.
Are you sure you didn't take a blow to the head?
No. I did not. I am... Eric Rudigum. Rudigum? Yes. Apparently a dwarf he worked with.
Not a very dwarven name. I suppose I'll look into him.
Yes, if you find him, that may be a connection that Lars can go off of. Because I do still want to help him. He seems rather nice, given everything
His
around.
profession is of killing men. Yes.
Yeah. So, giving him that might help him. So,
All
other
right.
than that, there's really nothing else I can think of to talk about.
I will reach out and ask about this Eric. Otherwise, I will leave you with only this. Given the devastation that we saw at the logging camp, I will protest to bringing Kenna to the capital. She seems wild and unpredictable, and I do not wish any of the people here to be subjected to her whims, which are incredibly destructive. So take that into consideration
Wild, yes.
before you decide to head back.
Yes, I will. Thank you, sister. Although, I wouldn't say we've, really bonded like good party mate. We have gotten to know a little bit more about each other. Her situation is interesting. And I think we'll be okay. But thank you, sister.
Mm-hmm. Just making my protest known before you go and ignore it like you always do. There is nothing further.
I don't.
If you heard the smile earlier, you felt the eye roll.
But yes.
If there is nothing else, I will leave you and your companions for the evening.
Have a nice night.
You as well, as much as one of you as you can. And then you just kind of feel the humming return, eventually white noise, and then it just sort of snaps like a breaking of a rubber band, and the connection is gone.
Oh, he goes and gets ready for sleep then. After eating.
Okay. We'll say ready for Betty by time starts at 7. What time are you guys going to actually go to sleep? On average, it's been 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Okay.
Good for me.
Math is hard. Do. Okay. Well, the night rolls around. Let us acquire some rolls. First watch is Mr. Lars. Perception check, please.
Perception check. That's a 20. Not a natural 20, a dirty 20.
Okay, that's still really good. All right.
Lars would have left Porsche, by the way. He would have just gone up by himself with his rifle.
Okay. As you go up in your winter gear, settling in a comfortable spot in the battlements, do you have a torch lit? It is dark.
Yes,
Okay.
I need it to see otherwise.
Yep. All right. So a torch casting an orange glow off into the heavy snowfall that has come. The weather, as predicted, has begun to get worse. First, a strong, bellowing wind that's buffeting the side of the fortress, and with it, a reasonable snowfall. In the 2 hours you're out there, you get a couple of inches. But alas, nothing seems to unfold. It is uneventful, and except for the wind, the wind, it is quiet.
Very good. If after my watch, I will go wake up. Is it Edelweiss who's taking second?
It is.
Oh wait, I'm
I'll-
already.
Yeah. Lars will walk up, knowing not to touch them. Will tap like sort of do like a clap in front of them.
A little finger
Like
snap.
Yeah.
Startled and kind of gets up.
And Lars will be
Nods
like,
head.
sorry, sorry to wake you, but it's your turn. I would wrap up a bit warm as well. The weather's getting a bit worse. I hope it's a nice night for you. And with that, he'll do a slight bow and then go towards his bedroll and try and find some sleep.
Don't line up. That's the time we roll perception, right?
Yep.
No.
The increasing weather hurts your overall visibility, despite the unique gift you have to see in the dark. In the distance, you do see the occasional small form of something sort of like skitter along through the, snow-laden field, vanishing somewhere on the other side of the courtyard. But when 2 hours pass, you are surprised and pleased to see that there is nothing that appears to be lurking nearby that wishes to bring harm to you.
Okay. Can I go? Not the just do a little dad prayer.
Yeah, sure.
That's the only way I can put it.
Yeah, this is a time of day, and you've got the roll left.
I wasn't. I'm not specifically trying to invoke a D100. Rather, just trying to direct to them.
Well, I'm going to ask for one anyway, so if you want to make it this, you
Yeah.
can. Otherwise, you just go to bed and I ask for one anyhow.
We might leave. We're going to leave tomorrow. Unless it gets that worse that it would be impossible to leave. But I still worry about Kalina. If you do tell me what happens if we don't come back to her. I would do something if I can and see if I can try to gain information to get her out of here. Otherwise, she doesn't want to by your hand, but also, I wouldn't mind talking a bit more later. I've got things I'd like to ask and comment on, but it'll happen when it does. I hope weather's always nice there, but I hope you're having a good day so far. Love you. Good night from here. And that's it.
Okay. Then you're going to go rouse Nikolai?
So I will rouse Nikolai. Shaking his shoulder a bit. It's your turn.
So yeah. Lights a torch. Goes out to the battlements. And sits. Perception.
Perception check.
Hey!
It's a shame you have disadvantage still.
Yeah! But hey!
Hey, yeah, that's a really handsome number if you could when you actually get it. Yeah, that's a huge number when you actually get it. You don't see numbers like that until at least high tier 2, low tier 3 play. All right. Nikolai, you go out into the battlements after trading shifts with Edelweiss. The weather, as you heard earlier, has picked up. The clouds off in the distance are dark, and ominous, bringing with them a stinging wind and increasing snowfall. As you sit out on the battlements after the first hour or so, pacing as you would, keeping an eye on everything, moving the torch along as you think, there's a moment where you feel like your sister's messaging you. You feel that gathering presence in the back of your mind. Except it is a much shorter period of time it takes for it to refine itself and focus into a connection. And you can palpably feel it due to your unique psionic abilities. There is no voice as of yet, but you know something has connected with you. What do you do?
He'll wait a few seconds, and then, hello? Is that you, sis?
Can this one hear me?
Hold on. Say that again. I had to turn you up.
Can this one hear me?
Oh. Who? Who are you? Wait. He's looking out the battlements, like searching now.
I am the one trapped beneath the earth. I have sensed you moving about my prison. I would ask that you free me.
Your prison? This is not the same voice as the crystal, right?
No, it is not.
What's your name?
I am known as Gildarian.
Are you the namesake of this location? Of these dwarves?
The dwarves are my keepers. They shackled me
You're
here.
cutting out.
I'm cutting out.
Yeah. Move it a little bit closer.
I can talk directly into it, but that might be a little loud.
Do not.
I heard
Please.
that they shackled me here. And then
The dwarves are my keepers. They shackled me here.
okay. Can I roll an insight to try and discern not the nature of the dragon, the Does he sound vengeful, or is he just someone who wants to be free? That like.
Fair question. Yeah, you can roll an insight check. Just remember you have disadvantage on it still due to your point of exhaustion.
Hey, 22 and 21.
Doesn't matter. Well, let me roll a dice. Hey, look, I've got a nice gold one here. Let me roll that.
Big brain Nikolai.
The voice sounds frustrated in that they are stuck in a position where they have no choice. Which, with the knowledge of protectorate dragons that you have, seems reasonable. Can't do its job. It's been sundered, and it's been forced into a position it has no choice in, and has been there for a very long time. So, it would be reasonable to sound frustrated. Vengeful, not necessarily.
Okay. Well, Gildarion, I would honestly like to help you. My friends, on the other hand, would rather leave you alone. Can I have some insurances to try and help them be more willing? Some of them are a little bit less keen on you than others, but I see no reason why to not let you go. You are a protector dragon, after all, right?
And what would you need of me?
Ooh, can't hear you.
Dragon test 1? Dragon test
Nope.
2?
Oh. Ah.
Really? You can't
Sometimes
hear
it
me?
activates, sometimes.
Weird.
Sometimes I think.
We
Is it-
started and we couldn't hear you, but then we could hear you.
Odd.
It takes a second.
When
for
you're
it to
tapping, it
activate.
did not hear.
You know what? Maybe it's... Hang on. Because maybe it's that codec that's giving me some problems. So I'm going to switch it back on and we're going to try again. Just let me know if you hear me or not.
And what would you need of me?
Yes.
That was perfect.
I mean, probably insurances that you won't attack them and that you're here for good reasons instead of bad. The conversation that we had when talking about you, or that there is probably a reason that you're here, something other than and something that might not be good. I would. So yes, just insurances that you won't attack us and that you're here for good reasons. Well, let me rephrase that. You want to do good. The shackling is not exactly good. Not good at all. You know what I mean.
The sole purpose of my creation is to protect and preserve mortal life. I could no sooner bring harm to you or your compatriots than I could any other form I've protected in the very long life I have lived on this plane. Why would I go against the tenets that I was created under now?
Oh, you gotta be careful, you know.
In caution,
And can I roll it?
I understand.
Can I roll another insight just to make sure that he truly means what he says?
Yep.
Come on.
You can always roll another die.
No, Nikolai's feeling pretty insightful tonight. Exhausted, but insightful.
You can be more insightful. That was an 11.
Or sweet. If only
I
that
don't
was
know.
a 19.
Do you want to be more insightful, Nikolai?
I mean, you can choose
No,
any
I'll stick
die.
with the 7. I'm okay with that.
Gildarian sounds honest. You've never spoken to a dragon before, and so trying to figure out a cadence or change of voice to a dragon speaking to you telepathically is very difficult. And on the same point, his voice speaks in such an inflection that it doesn't change. And it's such an inflection that it sounds like it can only speak purpose and fact. Much in a similar way, like how primordials can only function based off of the way they were created. They only have a single purpose. Protector dragons were very similar, except they did have personalities, but they were all created with the sole purpose of protecting and preserving life. And far as you can tell, he sounds honest and truthful and forthright, as you'd expect of a dragon whose sole purpose in creation is to protect life.
Well, then I will definitely try and help you as much as I can. I am still rather tired from my a trip into the water I had before, and I'd like to let my group sleep on, but in the morning, we can talk, and can you only do this with me, or can you do this with the others? Because while coming from me and saying, hey, I talked to a dragon would be pretty cool, you talking to one of their minds might win them over. A little bit easier.
I have attempted to speak with all of your comrades. You seem to be the only one open to the suggestion of speaking in this manner.
My sister does it a lot. I'm actually sort of used to it at this point. Okay. Cool. Well, if you don't mind waiting a little bit, my watch will end pretty soon. I will chat with one of my party members then, and then when we get up, we shall talk. You can probably wait a little bit longer, yeah?
A day is but a passing second in a lifetime of a dragon. I will warn you of this. My ability to communicate is limited. Therefore, I will inform you of the way to open the door in which you will find the edifice where my soul has been placed upon. The commander of the dwarves in this installation had a set of gemstone-cut keys, which he needed to open the door and enter into the chamber in which my soul is trapped. You must find them and inlay them in the correct order in order to enter into the room. May you rest well, mortal.
And you feel the connection just break. And the thing that's interesting,
Yep.
you only realize this
Yep.
after the fact. You were speaking and having the entire conversation in Draconic.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like because you have the attunement to the helmet that lets you speak, read, and understand it. You didn't even realize because it just automatically translates magically in your head. So you're just like, oh yes, I'm speaking common right now. This is completely normal. Except you weren't.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's nice. Wow.
Other than that, Nikolai, your watch is really, other than that, uneventful, which really hard to say given that. I guess it's easier to say nothing else other than that occurs. Maybe that's better.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to top a dragon. talking to you through
Yeah.
your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as my watch comes to a close, he will go. Nikolai will go and wake up Gwen. Gwen,
Hmm.
before you
What's
go
the
on
matter?
your watch, we need to talk real fast.
Everything all right, boss?
Yes, actually, even better. The dragon talked to me.
Hmm. Yeah. Let's go sit by the fire.
Yeah.
And she'll just like sit him
He
down, put a blanket around his shoulders, hand him a cup of tea. Now tell me how you're feeling.
You know, for someone who can lift objects with their mind, I would honestly not thinking talking to a dragon would actually be the most unheard of thing.
Aside, well, so you spoke to a dragon. Our dragon?
Yes.
Okay.
His name is Gildariot.
Okay.
He was shackled here by the dwarf.
Of course.
From what I can tell, and I am rather good at telling whether someone is lying or not, he seems pretty honest, and he doesn't. He has no reason to attack us if we were to let him go. He seems rather good. All he is a little bit frustrated that he's been shackled, which is understandable.
Did you ask him why he was shackled? Why they put him there?
To be fair, no. Again, talking to a dragon, I wanted more insurances on if he was good or not. He doesn't seem to be different from any of the stories I heard of a protector dragon. Seems rather nice. He told me how to open up the door to his soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. That's a lot.
Yes, you're telling.
I need to roll something. Can I roll insight on Nikolai?
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, she's afraid he's gone
He's gone
back
a
into
little.
cold shock.
That wouldn't
I'm hearing voices, man.
That's fucking symptom of hypothermia. That's an 18 for and insight is good. 18 plus 5.
Oh,
18
well,
plus 5.
that's pretty good. Nikolai, make a persuasion check.
Oh boy.
Because we know we all know out of character you're not lying. This is gonna be how well Gwen believes what you're telling her. Which, looking at him, he seems like he really truly believes everything he's telling you is exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You're not entirely convinced.
Would you mind if I give you just a quick once over, just took your temperature maybe? And she's just like, as she's saying that, she's already got the mom rest up against his forehead, and she's like feeling his fingers to see if they're really cold.
Just staring.
And then she sort of steps back and just, it wouldn't be the strangest thing to happen to us since we got here. I'll give you that.
It would actually honestly be a nice thing that's happened to us since we've got here.
How do we
Which
know
is
we can trust
weird.
How do we know we can trust him?
The same way I know I can trust you. I am an insightful person.
Just sort of. I appreciate. We'll bring it up to the others.
Yes. And it's pretty interesting. The way he talks is like someone just repeating their purpose and that's it. You know? It's he has a job to do and he's frustrated that he can't do it. Simple as. Quite nice. Like the inverse of that crystal.
Listen. I don't have too much of an opinion on it, I'll say that. I'm here to keep you safe. If you have this much conviction that nothing can possibly go wrong, just... I get the feeling that nobody asks you to do this often, but... consider the consequences for if you end up being wrong.
You sound like my sister.
Maybe that's a good thing. What if you're wrong? What then?
Honestly, I don't know. If I'm wrong, then a protector dragon gets released? I honestly don't know.
Well, not what if you're wrong about, you know, I don't know. What if you're wrong about it being good intention?
Oh, then, you know, all of the people in this area will probably end up dead. A major crisis will start. The political ramifications are unending and uncountable. So, yeah. I hope I'm not wrong. But if I am wrong, well, I'm willing to bet on the chances that I'm right.
And okay, she's sort of torn in her head. She's just like, I don't like this, and I don't believe this, and I don't want to do this. But also, this kid needs to learn a lesson about how to convince other people how to speak on his topic. So what is your evidence? What do you have? What can you tell them? What can you tell me that will convince me that yes, we should pop open that door right now and let the damn thing go?
I mean, if you haven't been won over by the talk of a talking protector dragon that invaded my mind for a second to talk to me, that he has been trying to contact all of you, but I am the only one that would be open up to such communications because the nature of my powers.
And what exactly is
besides,
that?
Oh, the nature of my powers? Sure, why not? The power of my mind. It's inherent to me. Wizards. You've heard of people being able to weave magic through intense study. I am able to do the same inherently through my mind. It's
like a sword.
Somewhat tied to. Yes, but the difference is mine focuses on my mind, and it gives me different abilities because of it. It's also tied to my emotion a bit, at least one of them. Which is why if I seem hot-headed, it's probably because I am, and that's usually better than the other side. That's the controlled side. There can be some devastating consequences if I were to lose my temper, as I'm sure you are not a stranger to with your abilities.
Got me there? So, your mind is inherently magical. Your magic is derived from your mind. And through that, this creature was able to reach out and connect with you and speak with you. Stop growling at them. Not you. Stop
Yes.
growling at them, Nikolai.
Yes. Yep, that's the nature of it.
And that's why you can float things and do what you can do.
Yes, float things and see through the future. Yes.
God, I really know how to fucking pick 'em, don't I? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's quite an ability, and it's easy to hide.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. This is what I get anyway.
You're really making you earn that money, you know.
I'm thinking I
Might as
should.
well.
Look, I know. I told you. Talked about cutting my pay a bit. I'm considering raising my rates, actually.
I'm not the one to talk to about that.
I know. I know. I. This is a topic best discussed with the rest of the group. I currently. I'm on a little less shaky ground than I was when you first woke me up, I'll tell you that. I believe that this thing at least spoke to you. Now that you've given me at least an explanation, but... I don't know if... Can't it hear us right now?
No.
I don't know if we should let it out. I can't... It would be like letting something loose on a world that has no place in it. Has no place for it. Dragons have been gone for how long, and here is this one that... Just this one that, you know, feeds off of I don't know, what? What do dragons eat?
I was about to say people, but I feel like that did not exactly aid my point.
You are correct.
From what I've heard, from what I can understand, the protector dragons, which is the metallic one, the gold one down there, feeds off of the energy of just people prospering near it, like a population prospering. For example, if one were to, I don't know if you've ever been to Stenholm. If one were to be set right in the middle of Stenholm, it would probably engorge itself on the energy there, just like just like a dragon would in any capital. Harbor would be even better for it. It's
Do they breathe
and
fire?
that is why they breathe all sorts of things. From what I can remember, I'm pretty sure. DM, what type does Nikolai know? What the types of dragons in their fire breath?
Make
their types of breath.
Make another history check.
Damn,
Pretty good. Man, that disadvantage don't matter to you none. So I'll give you one for free, which is The helmet that you're currently attuned to, which is heavily based off of gold dragons and the theme, you would be surprised if gold dragons didn't breathe fire. However, protectorate dragons were also unique in that they all had a series of different types of breath weapons to accommodate different types of battling, such as if they encountered resistance from living creatures, to put it simply, their programming didn't allow them to kill them. So some dragons have a paralysis breath, some dragons have a sleep breath, etc. Otherwise, the gamut of dragons, and you're not sure which dragon types other than golds, the kinds of breath weapons other dragon types have, but they run the gamut of most elemental types. So you know at the very least they use like lightning, fire, cold, etc. But you're not entirely certain which dragon type uses which. Just that gold uses fire.
Yeah. So yeah, as this taps on helmet, would indicate, yeah, gold breathes fire. So, but yeah, there's, because of their nature of how they gain their energy, it would be quite counterproductive for them to start murdering the people that they gain energy from, biting the hand that feeds and all.
But this thing could potentially grow unchecked to some... I mean, it's not small already. It could get... How much bigger can it get?
There's been no known stop size. It just depends on the amount of people nearby. I would assume from the dragons are very ancient, and the stories about them can be. There's very few scientific studies, and that's my area of sort of reading, is scientific studies. For what I can ascertain, yeah, there is no stop size, and it's and yes, it depends on the amount of people nearby. And also, who's to say that it won't leave? It could just leave this plane. The dragons go elsewhere. That's why they're not here. It could just go.
Yeah. Nikolai... At the end of the day, I'm on the side of life. So we have to figure that out if this thing is too.
I'd be willing to bet everything I have that it is on the side of life.
And not
For
just...
life gives it.
Not just some. All of it.
I mean, if it tries to contact me, we can talk a little bit more. It did say its communication was a little bit limited, which is understandable, seeing as technically its soul is ripped from its body. You know.
I say we tell the others. We discuss it with them.
Yes.
And then, once we've done that, we decide if we're going to continue on towards the village and check in there. But if it's talking to you, that's one more reason to stick around.
Yeah.
We don't have to let it out right now. We can wait until we can learn more about it. Doesn't have to be something we can rush into.
Yeah. There's a group of people in Stenholm. I'm gonna say it wrong. It's the
Shalseer.
Shalseer is
Shalseer.
Seer. Yes, it's the Seer. They're a group that would probably know more, and they have a hold in Stunholm. So,
And Gwen, you've probably met a handful of Shalseer members during your travels across Kendrasa, given the way that they operate, which is literally they walk in pairs everywhere across the continent to just keep law and order and peace. And they're generally very nice, helpful individuals that are well trained and capable of handling a lot of difficult situations.
Yeah, Go ahead.
No, that was it.
I've Would it be safe to say that she's worked with some in the past?
Probably.
Yeah. I know him. I would be comfortable bringing some in to look at it. But I don't think bringing too many people around is a good idea. But they're professionals.
Oh, I agree with that. I would rather not have talk of, a gold dragon sits in the statue. Yeah. Not exactly the right kind of attention that you'd want.
No. Especially not with some terrible blood virus running around.
Terrible blood virus, undead, many different types of lichens, which, no offense, sorry, how do you feel about that? about referring
what?
to lichens in that way?
As a problem? Nikolai, I've been a problem before.
No, I have no doubt. But
in the morning,
yes, there's
we tell the others.
Yes.
Tell the others. We go back into town. We resupply. We contact the Shalseer. We go from there.
I don't know if they're in Dariok, but I can we can either go to Stenholm, or I can the same way the dragon contacted me, I can try contacting his sister and talk to her about it, if you want.
Yeah, I think that would be good. See if she can send some our way. Okay. Regardless, I've been thinking more about the crystal. It's not something I want to leave the area until we can at least have a little bit more knowledge about. And we don't know our enemy at all, but it is dangerous. It's not something that I want to leave running around unchecked.
Yeah. Well, if I remember correctly, the Shalseer also are like a peacekeeping force.
They are a continent-wide police force.
Would there be a chance that mentioned, hey, there's like this sort of all-consuming crystal void thing that wants to destroy the universe? Would that?
Oh yeah, you probably report that to them. That's probably a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, we can also talk to the Shalseer about the crystal. Again, if there's anyone that would be capable, it'd probably be the dragon people.
I'll agree with that. But for now, she'll just put a hand on his shoulder. Go get some rest. We'll finish your tea first.
Yes.
And she'll, heads up to the battlements.
And the whole world is on fire in the 20 minutes he took to speak to Nikolai. Not
Do
kidding. I'm kidding.
I would like to do...
What would Gwen like to do?
It's always my watch that shit happens. Until it's not. I would like to do two things. One, I would like to... I tried this once before, didn't get too far with it, but now that I've got a bit of a lower affliction level, I'd like to try again to remember any sort of communion rituals that I had in my past.
Sure.
Okay. Would you like for that, sir?
History check.
Alrighty then. I think that's just a +1. Ha 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 ha. That is a 10. That's a 10 plus 1, so for an 11.
Okay. What's your affliction level at currently?
Since I'm taking last watch, would I have completed my long rest by now?
Yes,
Yes.
6 hours have gone by.
2.
That's really low. And you still have your D100. You just want to throw that in there for me, too?
Sure.
You know, using the days previous, because the only person who used theirs was Lars.
No, I used mine. I used mine to commute with the plant.
You're right.
But it is a
did.
new day.
Well, you could you could use the new day one now then if you wanted to. I was doing it because I thought you still had yours from the day, but you're right. You did use yours. So that one's up to you. You don't have to.
Okay. Well, if I
You can
can,
always call again.
It depends on if I remember anything. Because if I do, then I would be trying to make contact. If I don't...
No, I need to know what you're doing before I can tell you the result of the roll. That's how most of these things work.
What I'm doing?
Inspiration point.
Yeah, like for instance, Edelweiss is encouraging you to spend an inspiration point to roll an additional d20 to try to improve the odds of your outcome. But I can't tell you what the outcome is until you decide whether or not you're going to do that.
Okay, that sounds fun. I'll do that.
Sure.
Huh, no, it's a 11 still, because that was a 4.
Okay.
And... why not? Yeah, I'll roll my D100.
Okay.
See what it's got. Ah! Nope. Nope. Well, this one fell off my desk, but it doesn't matter because it was a 3, and that's a 0, so it's a 40 even.
Okay. Not great. However, the 11, you do recall one particular communion ritual. It takes a moment when you're sort of just sitting out in the battlements, you know, enduring the cold, the biting wind. It sort of helps you focus. Everything is coming to a bit of a razor's edge. As a lot of clouds sort of begin to recede on your memories. And you remember, it's not like the exact ritual, you have a memory of performing it, though. Which is, you see yourself in a small patch of earth in the forest. Tall trees on all the side, shaded by the growth overhead. And you have cleared, as best as you can, a perfect circle in the dirt, clearing it of almost everything that was there. So it's just this dark patch of rich earth. You are barefoot and barehanded, and you find yourself kneeling in the dirt and then pressing your palms down into it.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, you lean down and press your forehead to the ground, and you begin speaking. You don't remember the words or what this particular prayer was about, but the imagery of you doing this ritual is very clear. And you know this was at least a way that you used to be able to communicate and commune with Vahana.
Good to know. Yeah. I just think about that. Make sure to write down the details of it. And, the rest of my watch, she walks out into the snow. Or into the little sort of inside, sort of outside area over here.
Yep, the collapsed room. Yep.
Yeah. She is going to transform into a wolf, make sure all of her gear is like stowed properly before she does, and folded.
Yep.
And by that I mean secured, away from any prying little hands with a ringed tail, maybe.
I don't know. So that's very vague and in the open. Where are you putting it? That's so secure.
Is Nikolai sleeping upstairs?
Nikolai?
In the common room.
So yes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
are the only one sleeping in the common room.
Yeah. I don't know. Try to put it next to his stuff, behind his stuff.
You know,
So if
what stuff he
anything
has
gets
left.
into it- Yeah. And then transforms into a wolf, and that's how I'm going to spend my my watch. Is I am going to first run around in the clearing and just roll around in the snow like a dog, having a good time. First time it's been able to go outside in a minute. And then I am going to just patrol or just make my way around the general area and keep an eye out for anything that would be, alarming.
Okay. Fair
Just gonna
enough.
keep watch. But I'm gonna keep moving.
Very well. I'm gonna need a perception check from you.
Awesome. And I don't pee on anything.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, Constitution check to see if you can hold it the whole 2 hours.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding. But I do need a perception check. That was serious.
Okay. Ooh! Natural 20 plus 3.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, as you are going about in this winter storm, that is not quite the nicest thing you have been in, you do notice that there are a couple of small critters that sort of scamper in and about, running to a place to try to find some cover. But other than that, over the course of your time out here, nothing. It seems most things that would think better about exiting into this weather have stayed inside tonight, and anything nefarious has not shown up.
Nice. Then, otherwise, she just sort of spends her watch hopping around and playing. And that's all I got.
Okay. All right. In which case, the long rest is going to go by uneventfully. I have D100 rolls I require from people. And by from people, I mean 3 people? Unless people want to correct me, because obviously I missed Gwen last session, which means I could have missed others. But I thought Nikolai, Edelweiss, and Kenna had theirs left.
No, Nikolai did not.
Then never mind. Thank you for being honest.
Okay, so only me?
Yeah, at
No.
this point.
I didn't use it.
Oh, I thought you said okay. Well, then Nikolai as well.
Nothing interesting. Just a 67.
Weird way to say that, but okay.
Woo! Woo! That was close.
That could have gone poorly.
Oh, what? Oh, that's a close one, buddy. I can't wait till one of us gets a net 9. Does it start at 10 or does it start at 9?
And Gwen, for a completely different reason, I need you to roll a D100 dice.
Oh, yay!
Because there's something I need to see, and then something I need to explain.
That's I think I rolled these wrong because no, that wouldn't be right. 40 again. 40 even.
Okay.
Huh.
So, to clarify about a rule set for your lycanthropy, which is every time you willingly choose to transform between long rests, you get another point of affliction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't technically,
that was
this night you don't
hybrid.
lose a point. No,
Okay.
it's either.
Okay.
They both come from the same source, so either transformation earns you a point.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah, the D100 was just to see if you happen to have a little bit of loving nature luck on your side to see if it would have staved off the point, but it did not.
I did not understand that. If I thought it was only hybrid form, I
No.
would not have done it otherwise. But
It is both. But now we both know. I had to double check because I had forgotten.
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's how it is. Granted, it's sort of, it's in the same sense that you sort of like staved off a point and then got a point back, and all you did was act exactly like a wolf would in the wild playing in the snow. Seemed kind of appropriate.
Hush.
Okay. Well, that is the end of the night, and nothing else interesting happens. We are going to wake up the following morning with a interesting conversation to have, and I'm really sad Kyle's not here. But before that, we're going to take the first bio break of the night. Come back 10 minutes past, roughly.
Okie doke, see you then.
Been a bit. That went out longer than I thought it might, but conversations always do.
Yeah. Those good ones, though.
I want to get back in there, though. I'm waiting for someone to get a 0 on the B100s, though. Or, like on the 10s, so we can see what the fuck around and find out.
I will be right back, too.
Yeah. Yep. BRB.
I guess I'll put stuff in the fridge. Yeah.
Go back to watching it. It's fine. I don't want to know anymore.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm ready to have this discussion whenever everyone is back. Except they won't be on screen because I think I want to have a snack. What was in strawberries? Which will take a bit to eat because they are frozen. So, yeah, just gonna have it off screen. Whenever I should add some into it, it's like a snack.
Why would you add snakes to your strawberries?
Snack.
Oh, that makes more sense. I was worried for a second. I'm like, that sounds like a weird thing I've never heard of before.
Sounds like gummy snakes.
No, I'm pretty sure snake is probably one of the most well-known things to go with strawberries, aside from cream and chocolate.
Yep, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that snakes is more popular than that. It sounds like something a page that you'd find on uncyclopedia.com.
Blom.
And if you don't know what Uncyclopedia is, it's a parody of Wikipedia where everything on that site is false, but also comedic and parodied.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello. I see you're a distinguished gentleman.
Yes.
Who can talk to dragons?
Lucky him.
Yay. Woo, things can invade my mind.
That sounds perverted.
It sort of is if you think about it.
Take over my
You're not ready.
mind, Dragon Daddy.
It's the spell message. Message or sending. Sending is very creepy. Like dreaming.
Do you know what'd be really funny though? If you were just like, if one day you woke up and you try and find a connection and you just hear, you have one pending message.
You'd have to create a spell that is a sending voice box.
I did not hear the correct word.
That would be awesome.
Can I get psionic telepath number and caller ID?
Maybe. You could be the first.
What, like Scry?
Like, Chris, I see. Oh, it's a call from Krista. Okay, I'll take this. You what?
Psychic phones. The wave of the future.
He what?
That just reminds me of the SpongeBob meme. You what?
What? Yeah.
What did he do?
Psionic telephone. And caller ID.
Bring. Psionic phone. Boop. Boop.
God damn it.
Ryan, why don't you just send them to me anymore? It would save you a lot of pain.
Bring. The psychic phone. I don't know if it grows in bunches or not.
No, they don't grow in bunches.
But he does have his hunches with those really cool...
that part's true. Yeah.
Those rolls that he was doing for Insight. It's the best. Beats the rest. Cellular, modular, interactive, modular.
So, who were we waiting on? Nobody?
No one.
We are ready to go back
Oh,
underway.
well, cool story then. Well, then we're back. And it is the following day. It is now the 20th. Let me bump the day forward on the calendar. It is the 20th. It is a nice, bright and early 7 a.m. And by bright, I mean not bright at all. The sun does not come up for another 2.5 hours.
Is it the 20th?
It is the 20th. Time flies. The night Uneventful for some, eventful for others. What, oh what, do you guys do with the start of your day?
Right out the bat, right out the gate.
So,
I call everybody up to the
group
common
meeting.
room.
Ah,
Come to Jesus meeting.
Number 2. This can only go so well.
I
Lars
just said-
Lars rather lazily gets out of bed, gets a journal, and starts writing in an entry into the journal. But he'll be present, but not paying ridiculous attention.
Lars, eyes up.
So,
everyone gathers.
yeah,
It's pretty straightforward stuff.
you're gonna definitely want to. So the dragon that's down there, his name is Gildarian, and we had a little chit chat last night during my walk.
Lars drops his
There's the
book.
accent.
Sorry. Sorry, what?
Did it communicate with you?
Yeah. Yeah, telepathically. He told me he was trying to contact the group in general, but I was the only one that he could actually get a hold of. Yeah.
Everything he says, I can corroborate. To an extent.
Yes. Before Gwen's watch, I told her about it. She thought me just a tiny bit insane, which is fair enough.
But he doesn't have any symptoms of cold shock, so I can't say it's early onset hypothermia again.
Yes, plus I'm not as tired now, and I clearly remember the conversation I had with him. He is... yeah, he's definitely... As far as I can tell, he is truthful and honest, and all he wants to do is be free. The dwarves shackled him down there, and all he wants to do is really go free. I asked if he would attack us, and he said he has no reason to, as that's sort of his job, is to protect mortals. So, and I believed him. He also told me how to set him free.
But
yeah, so that was my night.
Where to start? Did they say why they were shackled?
No, the communication was limited, and the conversation ended before that. But if we go down there, maybe it'll prompt the conversation with Gildarion again. But he doesn't sound vengeful. He doesn't sound... He sounds honest and truthful.
Last night when we discussed it. What? Oh. Sorry. Weird sounds in the apartment. Last night when we discussed it, we discussed going back into town anyway, resupplying, seeing what was going on there, and then hopefully getting word out to the Chausseur. They're professionals, they would know what best to do in this situation, and I support bringing them in.
There's also something. Now that I know what we need to free him, I'm a little bit more confident about going into the chamber with him and that not really doing anything. If we go in there, we may be able to find some more evidence, research, maybe something as to why Gildarion is down there. His, the dragon's soul is locked behind the door. Its soul. Yeah.
I can't quite say I understand the logic behind the dwarves hiding any notes or anything in the chamber with the thing. But all things for later.
Couldn't hurt to look.
Of course not. But what do you think?
I am at least glad you're considering bringing people who would be more knowledgeable about this. I wouldn't want to disrespect to protect our dragon, and if he not only is trying to communicate, but also here's what's going on. I do apologize, but I must always be wary about such things.
Yes, and he understands that. I told him about our cautions, and he understands caution is necessary.
Indeed. If it's correct that we free him, then I believe that it will happen soon enough. Just remember that the most dangerous things are the best liars. I don't want to endanger anyone with something so big such as this.
Understandable. And what about you, Lars? Do you have any notes?
Lars will walk up to Nikolai and just put an arm around his shoulder, and he'll say, "We've known each other for 2 weeks, maybe. And I trust you to a point, but doesn't this sound a bit too convenient? I mean, I don't want to not believe you, because I understand the sort of person you are. But at the same time, being disappointed in not being able to go down there in the first place, and then saying that you heard the dragon talk to you, and you have Gwen, who I also, I feel like I have a good rapport with, who works for you, say that she backed you up. I mean, you got to, I need assurances, because it just seems a bit too good to be true. I'm not being distrustful of you. I'm just saying, if this is something you really want to do, then there needs to be a persuasion on my part. I don't want to feel like that this is going to be a huge mistake, because as far as I'm concerned, my family doesn't dabble in the magic of the world very much, and obviously my standpoint is usually to leave it well alone.
Kenna will assertively announce her protest against the idea.
I'm not saying we let it out. I'm saying we bring in people who are much more well versed in these matters to deal with it, or help deal with it.
That is something I agree more than dealing with it ourselves. Something should be done with it. And if it's a lawful being, if it's as protected dragons should be, then it would be good. And if we bring others into it, then if something goes awry, they should be capable of dealing with it, or not capable, but if they have contact with other dragons, then there is not everything's lost with this.
And I agree. I would like to, if we can go down there for probably just about an hour or so before we go, just to look around a little bit more, and then go. Depending on how we want to do this, we can stay in Dariacht for a day or so, and then leave as soon as possible after that. We can stay in Dariacht for the time being, listening around, and meanwhile, I can contact my sister to have her send. Oh hey! It's a Harky. We can, and she can have the Chalseer and a number of them come to help, and that would also help with the crystal thing. If there'd be people that could deal with it, it would probably be the Chalseer.
Dyer, when I was working through the plants, was I able to sense anything else in the chamber aside from the dragon?
Nope. No other life forms, nothing that seemed to be moving or unusual. Just the cavern and the dragon and the things shackling it to the ground. That was it.
But no... Okay. I will... Nikolai... What if I told you I knew with certainty that there was nothing else in there except the dragon?
Certain things of what style? Because what I'm looking for is tests, papers, writings on the walls, information.
As close as I was able to get to it. Anything like that, Dyer? Or just stone wall dragon?
There was no worked anything below the platforms that you guys have walked on. The only other things down there that were of dwarven make were the anchors into the walls and the chains attached to the dragon. Everything else was completely untouched, hollowed cavern. You won't find like another room down there or like a research lab or anything like that. No, there was no other structure down there whatsoever. Actually, as a matter of fact, Gwen, I felt like I overlooked this. Given your ability to have seen through all of the vines and the plants to get a pretty good layout and feel for the structure, the installation attached to the side of the high wall in the cavern, other than the door you haven't yet been through, there's nothing else that leads from that platform down. That's it. It doesn't look like there was ever an intended way for the dwarves to go back down.
There's no way to get down there, Nikolai. There's not a door. You're not going to find a lab, you're not going to find scattered papers. I don't know what's behind the door on the right, but going down and actually getting into the chamber that the damn thing is bound in is unfeasible, to say the least.
Well, it's more logical to say I won't find anything down there of what I'm looking for. As to say getting down there, that won't be an issue.
We should go back and resupply. This will be here.
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
And in that case, should I contact my sister?
If you can.
In the afternoon when we get to town. Let's spend the 7 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours, how long ever it needs to get to the town, and then spend the rest of the day listening around. As I told Gwen, I know the captain of the guard in the town. So there's that. That at least Gwen and I can go and look into. As for, and he'll look for Edelweiss. He'll look at Edelweiss and Lars. I'm pretty sure you two have your ways.
Huh?
I think Tina should stick with us. Or at least with you.
Yes. If anything, I can say that she is another bodyguard. No one's going to say that I'm wrong.
We hope.
My
No, the giant
cloak-
a giant ass is a little bit terrifying. Yes, go
My
ahead, sorry.
cloak could adjust to our size, so if there needs to be any more subtlety, then that'll work.
Well,
Will that
if that's
conceal her
necessary.
face? Or just her clothes?
It's got a hood on it, so
Yeah.
And even then, any little bit helps. If someone were to recognize her through her clothing, the cloak would help.
Well, I'd say try it on or see if it fits.
Who has it right now? I think Nikolai probably. I gave it to Mordehine when he went out. Assuming Nikolai
Yeah.
has it back.
Lars would
No.
have given you it back in the meantime. As soon as it's done with, it would have given you it back.
Yeah, I probably would have given it to Nikolai considering he needs to recover more. Be a warm boy.
Okay. In that case, then he would give it to Kenna.
okay. Well, after a moment, the cloak will settle. After it sits kind of awkwardly small by comparison onto Kenna's large frame, and then it'll sort of have a moment where it shivers, and as it does, the ripple kind of works its way through the magic of the fabric, and you see as it extends and grows down and around and out, encompassing Kenna's shoulders, neck, head, and down to her ankles.
That should work fine. Decide which one of you two, just looking at Nikolai and Mordehine, wants to keep it for the first leg of our travels. Since I assume you would like to try to share it.
I have
Well-
grown used to the cold. It's fine for Nikolai to have it more than I.
I do have my cold weather gear. If you don't mind checking the weather, we may not need it. And
But I still want to raise the concerns that you haven't convinced me of this plan, and also we're going against what Kalina rightfully said that we should leave well alone.
I can go talk to Kalina about it.
I'm sure she could hear us right now, to be honest.
It would be good to voice our intentions to her if we have changed our decision. We hope for that much. I do not know about freeing, but I think it is wise to bring in those who are proven to be good and more knowledgeable about this situation. Unless she has more knowledge to believe otherwise.
Thing of note, Dyer. And I don't know. A ruling about my intelligent insight. It says I can do it on any being. Does that include a dragon?
Well, that's a good question. Let me go double check wording real fast.
While that's happening, can I roll for insight to see if Nikolai is telling the truth?
Sure.
That's a 14.
Okay.
Another persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion check.
Ooh, and that's no disadvantage. Yay.
Yeah, I should have
Yeah.
done it too.
Moldeheim, he sounds honest. He believes everything he said. And you don't detect any amount of like guile or him trying to twist the words of something else. He seems incredibly forthright and upfront about everything he's talked about.
Or he's typing.
As for you, Nikolai, the intelligent insight, it's an interesting feature in that, you know, you have to be able to perceive a creature for a minute. Technically perceiving its body without its soul inside of it would be difficult to discern anything about it. The intelligent insight feature is not just a magical scanner that, you know, gives you, you know, an alignment reading. It's based off of watching the way they interact, the way they move, their body language, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Given that this being is
just-
completely inert and has no consciousness within its form, there would be no way to be certain. I would say no, it wouldn't really work.
I was just wondering if it could be used on any form that was moving or
Yeah, if you had a whole dragon perfectly functioning, yeah, you could use it on dragon. You can use it on pretty much anything.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I thought that it wouldn't work because yeah, it's inert. But thank you. Good to know for the future.
Mhm.
So Lars, being very close to Nikolai, will say, "Look, I've quickly thought about it, and against my better judgment, I'll go along with what you want to do."
Well, right now, I'm in agreement with the rest of the party. Well, majority of the party, of contacting people a little bit more knowledgeable and working with them. The real decision that we need to make is whether we want to, one, how long we want to stay at Dairyok, and two, if we want to go to Stenholm. I would much rather go to Stenholm because not only can we check on my sister and verse as long as we really want to, there may be some more opportunities to learn from the city itself.
I, once again, would not like to return to Stenholm just yet. I think we're leaving too much open here. It's too much that we... I'm sorry, sir. Can I help you? Too much here that we can learn more about. Or should learn more about before we depart the area.
Okay. Then, at least to Dairyok it is. I'm assuming this afternoon I shall contact my sister. And have her send some Chelsea down. Or up.
I'll agree with that.
Lars, can otherwise?
Well, if you think so, then we should get ready and we should leave immediately. Or at least wait for the light of day to appear.
What's the weather looking like in the next 24 hours?
Druidcraft. Noticeable improvement. It will stay overcast, but the snow and winds will go.
It'll get better soon. So, that's that.
Well.
And yes, just as a quick reminder to my aforementioned protests of Kenna's, which does not agree with futzing with the dragon at all. Things should be left alone as it has been for hundreds of years, and to not go back and to not go to the capital. That there are still things in the forest that are of a greater concern. and if left unchecked, could affect the duchy on a grander scope. She thinks it would be irresponsible to leave them unchecked.
Then to die off it is. What time is it now? We know the weather's gonna.
Well, I mean, y'all just got up and went straight into the conversation. So let's be generous and say it took you like a little less than an hour, because let's assume Gwen was double dealing and making breakfast in the same conversation.
Biscuits and gravy at the same time.
Hey.
What a good girl. What a good girl.
So yeah, after an hour, it's 8 o'clock. Sun's not up for another hour. Weather is not great. Windy, snowing. But at some point later in the next 24 hours, it does improve. You just don't know how soon.
Gwen goes about, spends an hour, that hour until sunrise, packing up camp, cleaning, getting the horses ready.
Okay. So yeah, basically, what are the preparations you guys take in the next hour? You basically
Spending
just
time with
get your stuff together.
And I don't have much stuff, so.
None of y'all really do.
Oh yeah. Nikolai will go down to Kalina. This is beneficial, I would assume. Kalina. There is something that we need to talk about. One, the group is we're going to be heading to the town that is nearby, resupplying and listening around. Just to give you a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
And two, the dragon that is down there communicated with me last night during my watch. I believe it to be a good being and want to, if not free it, learn more about it. While Kenna has disagreed, Gwen, Edelweiss, and although Lars is still iffy, Gwen and Edelweiss agree on probably bringing some people in, called the Kalseer. I don't know. Lars told us that you are rather against the dragon, but I was wondering if you had if you were against the bringing of people to try and understand it more. Experienced people with dragons.
If they are people who know what dragons are about, and of their history and of their abilities, then I think they would be valuable in ascertaining the purpose for the imprisonment of this creature. I am nervous to have anyone else come here and visit me, knowing that I am unable to leave. Afraid that perhaps someone might take an interest to me and wish to study me, which would yet again just be another prison.
Well, if it would make you feel better, I'm pretty sure we can accompany them wherever they go, so as to wave them off of studying you, because yeah, no, that is not fun. Plus, we may not be here for long with them whenever they do come, because I'm open to breaching the subject of the crystal with them. If anyone were to be capable of helping deal with it, it would be them.
I see more good than harm coming from this situation. And I would rather not allow my selfish feelings on the matter prevent it from going forward. So invite who you must to learn more of what you have found here.
And while I'm away, I will try and find any knowledge about any ability to move you, although I have doubts that I'd be able to do it. It seems far out of my abilities right now, but I will try.
Anything you can find, I would deeply appreciate.
Considering I went down. Oh, sorry.
I'm assuming you were there
Have I
first.
heard-
You got-
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I just want to pipe in that. Worrying about yourself. It's okay to worry about yourself when, wow, you've been like this so long. Before you can worry about other things sometimes. I completely forgot. I didn't consider that, but I am concerned about that possibility. But if you are alright, then
There is a greater good that needs to be served here. If my discomfort is the sacrifice necessary, I feel like that is a small price to pay to make sure that the choices made here are the ones in the best interests of everyone nearby.
Thank you, Kalina. And whether we come here or not, if there's anything else you would need, because yeah, I wouldn't want to cause any unnecessary discomfort. And I understand. So if there's anything else, although I do believe that they would be more interested in the dragon than researching you, and if they are interested in researching you, then I will politely tell them off. Although I believe our party has a little bit more better ways to deal with a situation like that.
Make a persuasion check for me, Nikolai. I just want to see how much she believes in your ability to dissuade individuals.
Hey.
Very good. Man, Nikolai is on a roll today. All right. No, like I said, given Kalina's statements, she stands pretty firmly with everything you say, Nikolai, and she's willing to do whatever she can to make sure the situation, occurs the best it can.
Thank you, Kalina. And he will do a deep bow and then leave.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll stick behind.
Okay. Like I said, pointed business prior to the sunrise, where you guys are likely to leave.
Not for fun.
Not it.
Okay. If not, over the next hour, you guys all gather your belongings, make the best of what you can with the items you have on hand to affix things to horses with rope, and whatever you can't fit or jerry-rig, you can stuff into the bag that has the orb in it, amongst the other baubles and trinkets that have now been stuffed inside. The horses have been readied, snowshoes have been affixed to feet and hooves, and you are all prepared as the sun begins to alight the sky in the distance to head back to Dire Yacht. I want 2 people, don't care who or how they decide to do it, but I want 2 survival checks. So 2 individuals to do it, or at the very least, 1 individual, the other one helping them.
That's
Oh.
sounds like a plan.
Oh no, the survival moms aren't here. Well, one's here, one's not.
Yeah,
Well, then
I can roll for Kenna if you guys want Kenna to participate.
You want Kenna to participate.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense.
Kenna for participation.
Kenna
Okay.
says roll, yes.
Okay. Well, in which case, I'm assuming other survival mom. Are you helping Kenna, or are you rolling separately?
She's not even here right now.
Oh,
Disappeared.
we lost Owl.
Oh, we can just do a help. Maybe.
Lars can offer the help if it's
Okay.
if we want to move it on quickly.
Bop.
Okay, it's okay.
Well, advantage is nice. There we go.
Advantage is very nice. Hargy, just so you know, that was a natural 1 and then 17.
Into a 23.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Good job, Lars. Okay. You guys begin the early morning trek back to the nearby town, with Kenna as the guide, given, well, this is just her element in every sense of the word. And the trip back, other than the wind and the moderate snowfall, it's not too uncomfortable. There are a couple of instances, which luckily, due to Kenna leading, that could have potentially been dangerous for the horses. There are a couple of instances where the snowfall has been so dense, there are places where there are almost sudden drop-offs, where there were small hills and mounds that were just covered so thoroughly in snow that stepping over the edge, people sunk. But thanks to Kenna's height, weight, and strength, she's able to discover a couple of these without it harming her, and you guys can safely navigate the horses through those particular dangerous scenarios. Use.
Just for flavor text, since I was saying the last week that Meta West is considering playing outside for the first half hour leg once we get to the forest, and they're probably gonna play some music for the winter. That's it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Flavor text.
Yeah. You guys have traveling music, like in a video game.
30 minutes. 30 minutes extended.
So you guys travel with a musical accompaniment. And after several hours of the trek, heading eastward towards the nearby town of Direyok, Kenna in particular, is the first to stumble upon and see the traces of, after a moment where she halts you and you all get a chance to sort of observe, there is a large clearing in this section of trees. Probably it's a clearing that's about 100 feet wide, maybe 60 feet across, and there are obvious signs that a battle ensued here. Well, I'm going to have Kenna make a roll to see what Kenna can discover here. But yeah, as mentioned, it is fairly obvious that there was a battle that ensued in this location. The only thing of note that Kenna discovers, parsing through the battlefield, is that she notes a couple of large wolf paws in the vicinity. But there are no signs of bodies left anywhere. There is, however, a large central bonfire, or at least the remnants thereof, just this huge cleared patch of earth with all this darkened, scorched, charred, leftover remnants of a bonfire. Does anybody else want to do anything?
Can Nikolai look around for any, just any threats at all? A little bit of an interesting area.
Sure. Perception check.
Not that good.
Well, your scan of the area as you're sort of kind of strolling around the perimeter doesn't reveal any obvious threats. There is nothing that would cause concern in the nearby trees. There's nothing obviously lurking. you kind of, with your psychic powers, sweep aside some mounds of snow to make sure that, the shape hidden underneath is not a creature hiding in ambush. And there are no signs of anything in the area that would be a threat to you or your companions.
We'll take note of it and then continue walking on.
Okay. Well, if no one has
No
anything...
sign of any. No sign of any bodies.
Nope. No signs of any bodies whatsoever.
Hargy is typing something, so.
Would Lars recognize the paws previously having noted down the size of one particular paw print?
Make a nature check.
Ha, that's a nat 20 plus, I think it's +1 for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so 21.
Looking at the paw prints, Moldahain, you do not recognize this as the paw print that belonged to the member of the Lycan pack. But the paw prints are larger than your average wolf, and you think they belong to dire wolves.
Lars will say, if anyone's thinking, this has nothing to do with the group that Kenna has been with. These seem like very large direwolf tracks.
Kenna, if you are listening, there is remnants to a large bonfire that has since burned itself completely out. It's burned down to charcoal, and there's nothing left. But it was a pretty substantial fire. As for Gwyn, I don't know where on earth you went, Gwyn. But if you want a timeline, I would need an investigation check or a survival check. Just type the word pineapple, Owl, if you're in trouble and you need us to send help.
No, I got a nosebleed and I keep the headset back on my head, so.
Noted.
18 total for survival.
Okay. It looks pretty old. There's been a lot of snow coverage. The only way the bonfire remnants were discovered is that there's kind of like these large skeletal, chunks of wood that are sticking out of the ground. Most of the battlefield itself has kind of just been covered up. It looks a couple days old.
Okay.
Like, more than 3, less than a week, maybe.
Okay, so, sorry, I had a thought and it's gone.
Quite alright.
How recent are the tracks? Same age?
Yeah. You have to, uncover them to find the tracks.
Alright. Any smell or any sort of remnant anything I can pick up on?
Perception check. Granted, your passive perception is great, but let's see if you can pick up something more.
This is at advantage?
Yep. You're sniffing.
13. And, that's a 2, so it's gonna be a 13 plus stuff. 13 plus 3 for a 15.
Okay. Well, your passive perception for sniffing is an 18, which is better. So we're going to use that. Gwen, yes. You walking into the clearing, it took a little moment until people started pushing things around and kind of uncovering stuff. You note 2 smells, of which you're a bit familiar with. There is the smell of decay and rotting flesh, and there is the smell of burnt and old cooked flesh. Like, there were bodies, and then someone burned them.
are bodies still around that are decaying?
No, there are no bodies around. The smell is quite old, probably preserved in some of the snow.
Cool. And none on the fire either.
There are no, like, obvious bodies in the fire, no. Do you wish to go through the fire? The
Sure,
remnants?
let's do it. Fine.
Sure, make me an investigation check.
6 plus stuff.
Stuff.
Stuff. 7 total.
7.
Sorry. 7.
Well, you kind of, with your boot kick through the snow and remnants of the fire that are here. And after a bit of shuffling around, you do begin to discover remnants of bones. And after a moment, you realize this bonfire had been built into a pit that had been dug out. And it goes actually about 3 feet down. So the amount of bones you find are actually quite a few.
Quite a few. Any guesstimate as to how many bodies?
With that investigation check, no. More than one, less than 100,
Yeah, it's yeah. Lots of bones then.
Yep.
Well, let's just hope whatever it is, we don't meet it. I couldn't assume with any good confidence that these are lichens, or that this is lichen handiwork, could I?
There's really no evidence of it. And lichens typically don't really burn their kills on an open fire like this. Like, this wasn't, yes, we spit and roast a creature and ate it. The bones are whole. Like, there are parts of them that are broken, but not, like, from being gnawed on, like you'd expect to see from a lichen.
Interesting. Alright, yeah. She just says, well, let's hope let's not run into this. Way.
Shall we keep pushing forward then?
Probably.
Onward and forward, then. I will...
That's it, I'll be right back.
Yep. I will have Kenna roll another survival check. Does someone want to help Kenna with another survival check, or does someone want to roll?
I'll give her advantage again if she wants.
Okie dokie. This time I'll click the advantage button. That is not great.
Can I spend my inspiration for her to roll again?
That's a good question. That would technically set a weird precedent that I'm not comfortable with.
I don't know what you rolled, but I'm home. Can I roll?
No?
Okay.
Like, had I not rolled, then yes, but I rolled.
I just got to my desk.
That's very unfortunate, because you had advantage, and I rolled double 8s.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It is a bummer. It's a huge bummer.
Man. But still, 14.
Oh, that would have been much better.
Because
Given
I get a
this,
+6.
yeah, no, they were 2 natural 2s. The totals were 8s.
Oh, no. Never mind.
Yeah. Not great. Yeah, no, if they were natural 8s, it would have succeeded, because the DC is a 10. Because it's not like the trip is particularly difficult, because you've taken it already, and the weather is easing up a little.
If it does actually change anything, I have the Wanderer background feat.
Yeah, actually, that does help. All right, yeah, no, that'll even us back out.
Fucking backgrounds for the win. All
Yeah,
right,
background
greetings,
features
I'm
are-
getting my headset.
Yeah. All right, in which case, you do not lose any more time other than the time you stop to investigate the little battleground area. You make it back in a surprisingly reasonable amount of time, not losing any extra time. So another 3 hours passes. 1, 2, 3. And right as the sun begins to set, you find yourselves on the outskirts of Dire Yacht. 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 Yacht.
Dire yacht.
Dire Yacht. It's in the throat. Dire Yacht. You gotta pretend like you're spitting. Yeah, and you find yourselves back on the outskirts of the stone and wood lumber town. You can see that torches have been lit at all the major intersections. There are a couple of people walking about, a handful of people. You see a couple of individuals with like large handcarts being pulled behind them as they're hauling a large set of what look like skins to be taken to the tanners from the local hunters. And a couple of people who look like they're sort of talking a bit animatedly and are making their way in the general direction of where most of you know the tavern is located.
Does it look like places are getting closed for the night? Shops are closing?
Yeah, I mean, the sun's setting. You think you might be, if you needed to go to a store for some goods, you might be able to catch the owners before they leave. It's a small town. You could probably even go find the owner and still make a request of them if necessary.
What time is it?
It is... hang on. Conversions. It is 4 o'clock. But the sun is beginning to set.
Hey.
Welcome.
All right.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make a move for the tavern. Say we go get a place to stay for the night.
Have we made it to the town? Sorry.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kargi, would you like Kenna to use my cloak so she can disguise herself a little better? The cloak that we've been passing around, because that's what we've decided to do. I think. I'm not sure if you were there.
Okay, I heard it. So on our hold on to that thought. Because I mentioned this to Dyer, but now that I'm actually here. So when we approach town, Kenna is gonna pull Nikolai to the side.
Yeah.
Nikolai, I'm not very comfortable staying in the town for the whole night. If you would like me to come into town and be with you guys, I will. But I think it would be safer if I just kind of camped here in the forest. Not far away, but just on the outskirt.
That was actually something I was going to suggest. Just because if there's anyone that can survive on themselves out in the woods, it's the one who's been doing it for a long time.
She nods.
And I think it would also just be easier to move through the town. As long as you stay where we know you're going to be staying, and then stay out of sight. Besides that,
well, I would like to come into your town. I have to confess I have never been in one. I am intrigued. I just do not want to stay the whole night. I feel like it's unsafe.
Okay. Well, we can ask the group, but since it's getting late for the town, I may just pay for some rooms at the tavern. Is a tavern and inn, yeah?
Yes.
Or okay. I could just pay for some rooms, and we will probably stay there. You can leave whenever you wish. Just one request. Please don't hurt anyone.
She kind of smirks. I will try my hardest.
And
I will only hurt somebody if they try to hurt me.
Fair enough. I'll help you. Maybe not the best look for the son of a duke. But yeah, no. Plus, I believe that your statue will probably scare off most people.
I'm counting on it.
But besides that, yeah. I don't have really any qualms. Sister might not be happy with me not having eyes on you, but I trust you.
In
Yeah.
this instance, it's smart.
Yes.
By the way.
If there's anything else you need, you'll probably know where to find us. At least for the rest of the day. For tomorrow, we'll have to see with the group about if we just want to stay in the tavern for tonight. But whenever, I am probably going to be with Gwen, for at least the start, going to ask the captain of the guard for information. If you need us, you can either go to the tavern or ask a guard. While I try and stay hidden, there's not much you can do to hide from your name, so they might know where I am.
I didn't think of this until now, but for the sake of being less noticeable, how comfortable are you taking off your mask? For the cloak, of course.
Not possible.
Hmm.
It's funny you should ask that. Nikolai, as you guys are sort of just on the outskirts of town, and you're just kind of like looking towards the town, figuring out what your next step is as you hear them sort of talking behind you. Kind of at the mention of Kenna's mask, your eyes are just sort of scanning the perimeter, the edge of the village. You guys aren't super far away, like 30 feet or so. You notice that there is a poster up on the side of the entrance to the gate on this side of town. And at a quick glance, it looks like an approximation of Kenna.
Where's the mask?
And if you get a little closer, it becomes a little bit more obvious to you. It's not exactly an approximation. It looks more like a sketch of a monster with horns and glowing eyes. And then a list of details to the best of the abilities, and then a handful of warnings: hostile, extremely dangerous, wanted for the deaths of, and then a list of people that were killed in the event. There is currently a 1,000 gold bounty out on the creature.
Ooh. Man, it wasn't that much I was looking for.
That's a problem. Okay.
This is after the official investigation was finished, and it's stamped by the official seal of the town of the town's guard captain.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Okay. Kenna. I don't know roughly what the deal with the mask is, but is it the mask has meaning or covering your face has meaning? Because if it's the latter, I'm pretty sure we can scrounge some way to cover your face. But that mask will be a problem.
And at this moment, I really wish I still had that disguise kit proficiency. But I couldn't get it.
It is both, Nikolai.
Okay.
I suppose I can hide my mask if I can still cover my face.
I can adjust the cloak, and possibly a way it might work.
Fully.
I really wish I had the efficiency.
With the sun setting, has anyone lit a torch?
I mean, Lars can't see if it's dark, so he's probably going to be the one that's going to be lighting a torch.
Yeah, it's getting dark. Yeah.
Yeah. Before you light a torch, does Dyrok have torches around the town for general torchlight, or
They do at the main gates, and then all the major intersections in the town.
Okay. Right now, let's not light a torch while we figure this out, and then when we agree on the plan, we can go in. Ooh, that's an idea. Hannah, do you mind staying out here a decent bit away for the night? I believe that one of us can find something for you to wear that would be less or less attention gathering, and probably maybe a mask or something to help cover your face in the town.
Could you take the shape of an animal?
So all of these things are possibilities.
Are you comfortable staying out here alone?
Yes.
Then
But for now, I still want to come into the town, and if I can't be me, then I won't be me. Side note, out of character, does Nikolai wear any kind of emblem or pendant or family seal that has an animal on it?
No. On his finger is a signet ring, and the symbol is of an O. And that is the identifier.
We do have another dog on the group, though.
Mm-hmm.
We have like a portion. So.
Kinda thinks.
While Kenna is thinking, Nikolai, you notice out of the corner of your eye, a new source of light come into view. When you turn to regard it, you see there is a pair of guardsmen that are walking down the street, passing by the gates.
Okay. Kenna, you want to go in? Yes?
She just goes, so there's no time, huh? Alright. And she'll put her hands up, and then there is going to be a there's going to be a smaller than average husky. Or an average sized husky, but not a bigger version.
Okay, perfect. Let's get to the tavern and get you in a room, and then we can decide from there.
So everyone's keenly aware, because I'm going to let you keep track of the time to the best of the cues I give you, which is Kenna's wild shape lasts 2 hours.
Okay. So
I don't think it'll take you that long to get into a place to keep Kenna safe, but just in case. Don't want any shenanigans where, someone's like, oh, why don't you such a good puppy, and they pick Kenna up, and then Kenna wild shapes back into a person.
Yeah. Okay. Nod if you agree, Kenna.
Princess and the Husky, that's what it is.
Gwen takes the scarf from around her neck and just for the bit, loops it around Kenna's neck like a bandana or something.
And Kenna behaves like a husky. Starts heading into town.
Yep.
Trot.
Let's go.
Because huskies are very energetic and they like to do a lot of things.
That part's true.
And chase cats.
Correct.
As you guys begin to approach town, the new source of light of the pair of guards, they'll sort of come to a stop, and you can tell them both sort of turn in regard as the group of you is walking in through the gates. There's a moment where you see one sort of hold the torch up a bit higher to cast a further light onto the group. Kenna, do you approach the two guardsmen?
I look at them, but I just kind of like try to walk on by, just wagging my tail.
Okay. The guards do not stop you. Their attention stays on the group of people. And, once you're kind of within the edge of the torchlight, one of them just go, "Hail, friends! Where are you coming from?"
So some travels, not far out. We were staying out there, researching. Is there some spots for us in the local inn?
We don't see very many travelers through here. I'm sure the keeper has a couple of rooms free up. There.
Still going.
Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, where's Kenna going? Is Kenna still going?
Kenna would have trotted on by, like sniffing around, looking down the alleyway, and then when noticing that the party got stopped, would just like sit.
Okay.
Kind of like, yeah, just sit by like a wall and wait.
Yeah. Just, I don't come up here much, but yeah, I am tired of sitting out in the elements and would like a nice warm place to sleep for a change.
All right, very well. Bertrand, take them over to the tavern. Make sure they get a place to eat and sleep. And the other guard just kind of nod. All right. Come along, folks. I'll see you there.
Thank you much.
Follow him.
And the guards split up. One leads you towards the center of town. And once there, hooks right. And you can see down the way, there's one building that has several torches lit out front. And there are a handful of people that have sort of gathered outside over an area that has this outstretched canvas tarp. And they're outside with some standing tables, and you can see there are small oil lanterns on the tables, and people are just drinking and talking. You can hear the chatter from down the street.
Is the bar that I met Krista in?
Yep. Yeah, this town's too small to have multiple taverns.
Yeah, I sort of elbow Nikolai as we get closer. And this is why I met you.
An inspiration point for anybody who can tell me the name of this tavern, because I can't find it in my notes.
Oh,
The Drunken Ram.
oh.
The Drunken Ram?
Yes, sir.
Tipsy Ram. The Tipsy Ram.
I thought it was Tipsy Ram, honestly. I was too afraid to say it. I know it's something Ram. I think it's Tipsy Ram.
It is the Tipsy Ram. Papa.
I wish I would have said it.
Yeah, that sounds correct. Nikolai, if you have a space for a point, you can take one up to 2.
Oh, yeah, no.
I have.
No,
See,
I do not,
actually,
unfortunately.
I have this. Hold on.
I will post. This is my notes on,
I think it's Tipsy Ram because I recognize that name, so.
Yeah, you were close.
And I had like a little ram thing outside.
it was
It
right
is the
after,
Tipsy Ram. It's the
Yep.
Tipsy Ram.
I
it
told
was
you it was
right
Tipsy
after
Ram.
the description of Lars.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have the name of the bartender?
I might.
No.
Because for the I flipped backwards through my notes, and I can't find anything from that session.
Dang, yeah. That
I
thing was,
don't. Did you ask for their name?
I think someone asked for the name.
No. No,
Okay.
I don't have it. He's just listed as the bartender.
Perfect. Then he gets a name today, maybe.
Aw.
Alrighty then. You are led by Bertrand the guard down to the Tipsy Ram, where people are socializing and enjoying a early drink right around what is coming a peak of dinner. He walks up to the front of the tavern and holds the door with an outstretched arm, kind of stepping aside so you can walk in.
Nikolai will flip him 2 gold. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem, sir. Thank you for the generosity.
Head on in.
Okay. As you go in, the tavern is busy. The first floor is packed full of citizens of Dire Yacht, enjoying what looks like a couple of drinks after their day's work. The town is early to rise, early to set or late to set, early to set. There we go. And that wouldn't make any sense. They like working themselves to death. No. But there are several people here. There's probably a good like 40 or 50 people inside and about another 20 or 30 outside. The first floor is filled. Most of the tables are all completely occupied. There are 3 musicians in the corner playing a bit of an upbeat tune. There's a large fire roaring in the hearth on the far side. There are several barmaids and bar hands you can see that are working through the crowd, delivering drinks and plates of food. And behind the bar, to the left of you, right as you come through the door, there are 2 people working behind it. One of which is a pale-skinned human gentleman with dark black hair, sort of slicked back into a ponytail. He wears a suit vest and a white long-sleeve shirt that's rolled up to his elbows. And he's currently just kind of working, pouring several drinks, and then sort of putting them on to the bar, and then setting a couple onto a tray when you see a barmaid sort of whisk it off into the group. Bertrand, after the last one of you have sort of leaned in, he'll kind of just step in behind him. Norville, these people here, make sure they get some service, and they're interested in some rooms for the night. He just looks up. All right, I'll see to it. If you guys would have a seat at the bar, I'll see you in a moment.
Sure.
Get on over, sit down.
Lars's demeanor looks so much more happy and comfortable, and he waltzes over to the bar, brings Portia close and sits, and is just looking very happy right now.
Edelweiss is just gonna not sit, but kind of quietly stand between where some of their companions are sitting.
Nikolai will look over at Lars. Feels good to be back, doesn't it? I did miss the sound of towns.
I've never wanted a bed more in my life, Nikolai.
Agreed.
After a couple of heartbeats, when you guys have sauntered up to the bar top, Norville comes over, wiping his hands on a rag, and sort of just leans forward on the bar. So, what can I get for you? Any drinks? Food?
Well,
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Pint your strongest, and what's on the menu?
Tonight, roasted boar. Best thing you'll have all winter long.
Order for the party then. That's all right. She looks around.
And he stops and he goes, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 plates?
2 for the dogs.
Do you also have dog food?
We've got some offal from the butcher. If that'll work.
The cutter.
Yes.
No,
I hate that guy. Butcher.
Any sort of bones that will do for Portia here, and he'll pat her on the side.
Very well.
Kenna hears that. She just paws up on the bar and just shakes her head no.
She's well trained.
One for this one.
Yeah. They work hard, so they eat better. You know, they're good pups.
And rooms. How many rooms do you have available?
We don't really get a whole lot of people through here, so we only have 3 rooms.
So who's bunking with who?
The 2 rooms. How many beds in each?
Only 1, but we can get a couple of extras.
2 rooms. 2 each.
Works for me.
How much?
Who am I bunking with?
Lars will say, if you guys don't mind, I would like a room for myself and 2 dogs.
Fair enough.
Okay.
3 rooms then.
All right. Well, the food, the drinks, And for the 3 rooms for the night, the total sum is going to run you gold, 5 silver.
I got
gold?
you.
1 gold, 5 silver.
Yeah, I got ya.
Congo.
All right.
Uh,
He'll reach beneath the bar while you're getting your coinage and put 3 keys down. And
Grab key.
while that's sort of being counted out, he will likewise sort of spin a bit gracefully to turn away from the countertop, scoop up a handful of glasses, and begin pouring the drink order for everybody.
Nikolai will put down an extra gold for him, just to round out the cost of the rooms to 2 gold.
Okay. He returns after about a minute. I actually did not get order for Edelweiss or Nikolai for the drinks. I just assumed everybody would get something. I just didn't know what.
Yeah, Lars didn't say anything either, but he's got a thirst.
Well,
Thirsty.
funny thing about you, Lars. When Norval returns, he plunks down 2 large mugs in front of both Gwen and you. And it is of a dark, foamy ale of some kind. And if you were to bring it close to your nose, you would note the brief undercurrent of pine. You've had a pint of this before the last time you visited. This is what they have the local town specialty called tree sap. And given that it's a logging town, people think it's hilarious.
Lars, remembering it was quite nice, he'll take it. Even though he didn't ask for it, he'll take it and be like, that is fine.
Well, excuse me, I assumed. I saw you last time you were here. It's what you had. You enjoyed it. I figured I'd supply the same.
I was only going to ask if you had any Oakenyard whiskey.
Oh, a man of fine taste. Let me see. He turns around and let's see. What are the odds of having some of Mordehein's favorite whiskey on hand? Wow. The odds are in your favor. He turns around, kneels real low, opens up a set of cabinets on the underside of the bar that he has to open with a key. And he fumbles through. You hear some glass sort of clinking up against one another, and you see him reach really far into the back, like his shoulder goes into this cabinet. And he leans in and pulls something out, and it's a fairly familiar bottle to you, Ryan. And he has a moment where he sort of dusts it off a bit. And he pulls it out and just sort of plops it down onto the counter in front of you, and it's an unopened bottle.
You're gonna see Lars, like, it's kind of like you've seen him be like militaristic, held back, but as soon as he sees this jar, he's just like almost frothing at the mouth for it. He's just like, oh.
How much for the bottle?
Well, I'll be honest with you. We had this ordered in by somebody who was staying here some years ago, and they just never came back for it. It's pretty expensive, though. But given that the discerning gentleman here has such fine tastes, well, I'm feeling generous. Let's call it 5 gold and call it a night. Yeah.
Pops it down for him.
For the record, and Mordehai could tell you, they're usually a lot more expensive than that. He's being incredibly generous.
Yeah.
Husky kind of paws at Lars.
What's up, girl?
Whiskey, please. Whiskey for the dog.
Yep.
Whiskey.
Whiskey for the husky.
Looks at you, looks at drink. Looks at you, looks at drink.
Yep.
Gwen's been doing the same thing the whole time.
Yeah, help up.
No, Lars will like he'll take a sip, and he'll lean over to Nikolai and say, That was a steal. But he'll also say, I am not going to be drinking a lot of it. I know what it can do to me.
No, I would say probably have it.
It is a nice keepsake. Thank you, barman. Your generosity knows no bounds.
Of course. Happy to serve. It's not often we get new faces in this town, so I like to make sure they have a good opinion of us when they leave.
Well, thank you. I feel like we all could use food in our bellies and a good night's rest, and we will share in your hospitality further. Thank you very much.
Of course. If you can find a table to sit at, good luck. Otherwise, stay at the bar and your food will be out here shortly.
That is fine. I am going to quickly leave the bar and go to the room.
Okay.
And Lars will go upstairs, bring Portia with one of the keys, and go into the room that he is directed by via the key.
Okay. Yeah, it's fairly simple. There's a small set of stairs on the far corner of the first floor that leads up. And when you get up there, there's just a short hallway where there are 3 rooms to one side. Room 1, 2, and 3. So whichever key you grabbed, you have access to.
I would say number 3.
Okay.
And Lars will go inside, plop his things down, and instruct Portia to stay for now. And it did kind of follow.
That's a yes.
Lars will leave the key on the bed, and he'll say, if you want to hang around, you can have the key. I'm going back downstairs to eat and drink. If you want to do something about your mask, like you said before, by all means. Or if you want to stay as a dog, that's fine. I know you can't communicate with me. It looks like I'm just talking to Porsche. He's having a very realistic realization. I know you understand, but you can't talk back.
Bark twice for yes, once for no. Okay. Kenna, do you stay or do you go?
I was muted that whole time.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I followed Lars.
Okay.
Sit down and lay down and roll over and
Be a dog.
yeah. Did everybody else go to their rooms? I missed that part. I was being assailed by my
No,
cat.
yeah, that was just Lars. I don't know what everyone else is doing. What is everyone else doing?
We haven't moved the scene yet.
No, you guys are still in the lower bar. That's why I'm asking.
I would have followed Lawrence, and when he would have been hanging out with Portia, I would have listened to him, and I would have just like nuzzled his leg, and then I would have gone to the door and pawed at the door to be let out, and then I would have trotted back down to the rest of the party.
Did you leave the bottle on the counter, Lars?
I left my pint at the bar.
But the
No,
bottle.
the bottle of whiskey.
I'm pretty sure. Well, who's it paid for it? I'm pretty sure he would have it. Nikolai.
Nikolai paid for it.
Yeah, but he was like, take it. He said, take it to you.
So Lars would would open the door and lock it behind him, lock Porsche in there for a while just to stay, and Lars would have left his backpack and would have gone downstairs to finish off the pint and wait for food.
Okay.
And that's about it. That's what I was
Okay. Well, Lars returns eventually. And so I repeat the question. What are the rest of you doing?
Nikolai
You're
waiting for food. And would actually ask, do you have water or tea? I'm not really a drinker.
Yeah, same here. They kind of look to the side, knowing that it's kind of odd.
No, yeah, we can accommodate some of that. We don't have a wide variety. You know, a lot of the hardier folks that work up here like to have a drink at the end of the night to stay warm. But yeah, we can make some tea. I'll go ask Irma in the back to see what we have.
Dire, here's a question.
Yes.
That's a pretty big bounty on that big horny monster.
Uh-huh.
Is there anybody that I know in this room?
This makes sense. Clearing change makes sense. Absolutely.
That's a damn fine question. Make a perception check.
Okay.
That's a real
That's just
fine
straight?
question. Yeah, sniffing would be hard. There's a lot of gathered sense here. Sniffing won't help. So yeah, it's a straight perception check.
There's no alert created.
I would like to spend my other inspiration point to roll that again.
Sure thing, boss.
Okay, that's better. Perception?
Yeah.
I do believe the total is 16. It's a 13. Yep, 16.
16.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You peer around the room, looking through the large handful of gathered individuals, many of which kind of fit the expected rugged, mountainous types that live in the area. But then it's when you're sort of like leaned back up against the bar with your pint just kind of sipping and you're kind of going along. The initial pass you missed. And then it was on the way back where a group of people finally walked away, sitting at a table closest to the hearth, listening to the music, with two other people sat with them, is a redhead with a mane of fiery hair. And the glint of her armor from across the room almost confirms to you exactly who it is.
Well, Adrian,
Hey, owl, fuck off.
Wow. Pale skin?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Recently?
Why do you think I said that? She followed me here. Followed it out. She followed out.
I reach over to. Do we have the same history that we did have?
I'm not sure if you remember the same character that I'm remembering.
Who are you talking about?
You have a list of NPCs in your history.
That one. That's a different one.
Previous emails, like from the 6th.
Yeah.
We got emails from that site.
The question still stands. It's a valid question.
So it was working. Yeah.
Well, I didn't say for Bana.
Okay.
For the record, yes, Riesling, she exists in this world as well.
We just haven't met her yet.
We just not met her yet.
All right.
She's in Harbor.
I sent it to each
Nice.
it's
Oh, it's this
similar
one.
to, like, the post, but there's a forward
Has she noticed me yet?
to the search
Nope,
email.
not paying any attention to you.
I turn right around and lean against the bar and just groan into my pint and just turn it up. And then I look down the line at the other two and I'm just like, try not to make yourself seem too helpless while we're here. And offers no further explanation. And Gwen's just gonna try to not be noticed by her.
Can Nikolai cite that as to why she said that?
Yeah, go for it.
Same here, honestly.
You both give me some insight checks.
Do I need
Let's
to roll
see,
anything against it?
Are you trying to obviously hide the action you've just done, groaning into your pint and looking around the tavern?
No, not really.
Then you don't need to if you don't want to.
Really?
That address through the Victoria forwarder.
Fours, am I right?
So yeah, that's why I suck at.
Yeah, Edelweiss, you're kind of shook due to the dense amount of people that are here. You're just
Nothing I'm not used to, but
yeah,
this
it's just uncomfortable.
not my best. That's not my best atmosphere.
However, Nikolai, you're sort of sitting there. You're just enjoying being back in civilization and seeing people. And you audibly hear Gwen groan as she's spinning back around with the pint and just sort of leans back on the bar, like trying to literally jump into her mug. And all it does is for you to sort of like slowly rotate in the exact same direction Gwen was in and go. And it's really hard to miss this person because she does not look like she belongs. She's not your average citizen to your duchy. there is a woman sitting at a table with two other individuals that also look like foreigners. She has bright, flaming red hair that is tied back into a tight braid, pale skin, freckles, and she is bedecked in a set of worn but well-polished armor. She has a long sword and a kite shield leaning up against the side of the table. And she's sort of sitting there. You can tell she's smiling and talking to the people at the table, and she's just sort of, you can see the head moving to the music. But you're pretty certain this is the person that Gwen was like, oh boy, why me?
We
know if this was a hard
he'll just lean on an elbow. And who might that be, Gwen?
Did she leave?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice armor. Red hair.
Boss, let's worry about our own problems for now.
You made
And she
her
just-
our problem.
And she just looks at him, and the eyes just say, she's speaking cordially, she's trying to be polite, but the eyes say, just fucking drop it, dude.
Shouldn't have mentioned it if you don't want us to.
I didn't
Captain.
fucking mention it. I told you not to look helpless.
That's mentioning something.
Lars has
Not-
been distracted. Lars has been distracted by trying to find other people in the bar, but he like leans over and goes, "What are we talking about?"
A little, maybe not embarrassment, but a friend over here is trying to hide from presumably her friend over there.
I wouldn't
Is
say
she a friend?
I wouldn't say
Oh.
friend.
Okay.
It's just
So
best
you-
that she doesn't see me, okay? It's just best that she doesn't see me.
Does
Fun history.
does Husky kind of notice people drawing attention to this person?
No.
Does Nikolai point or anything?
He would do the sort of like head nod in the direction, not to be noticed. Not like, look at that person point.
Otherwise,
Mhm.
specifically, will not like do any such thing.
Yeah, Nikolai's like you're pretty perceptive, Kenna, and your husky senses are also pretty sharp. So like if you're lit, you can hear them talking, and you can sort of look up, and it's pretty easy to go where Nikolai just kind of goes, yeah, over there, and then look in the direction and see the noticeably different person from everyone else in the room.
So the overnight of the 6th.
So it's a pretty fair line to draw between the two conclusions.
The morning of the 7th.
Just pause Gwen in the ass as she sits on a bar stool and then starts walking over there.
Gah! Fuck! No!
But she's but at the same time also like looking at everybody else in the room, going to like up to the tables and like sniffing people and just walking around and then making her way through the whole bar.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just try to grab her by the scruff of the neck before she goes?
Are you trying to grapple the husky?
Just grab her, literally just grab her by the scruff of the neck.
Are you trying to stop the dog from moving?
I guess.
And then you're trying to grapple the husky.
Okay.
And I'm assuming Kenna doesn't want that. So, this is the grapple contest. So an athletics from Gwen, and either an athletics or an acrobatics from Kenna.
It could have been a pending change from
Athletics from Gwen?
Yep.
What's the athletics of a husky?
I don't know. I'll find out.
Yeah, we would base this off.
Right now.
As I see this happen, otherwise we'll cast Disguise Self.
There's no way.
Yeah,
Huh.
we would just base it off of a mastiff, given that's sort of the generic dog that D&D uses.
Actually, you know what? It's
Especially
fine.
since you went for a slightly smaller than average
Can
husky.
I? Oh,
Husky. It's a +1. Actually, no. For because it's slightly smaller than average, it's just gonna be a flat 0.
Because right now, like I said, the investigations with infrastructure, because it might not be. It would probably be the firewall. It's probably from the forwarder out.
A mastiff?
Yeah, Mastiff.
A mastiff has a +3 to athletics.
Sorry, I was not looking at the proficiencies. Not in my book, it doesn't.
Looking at it right here. +1 to strength, +2 to dex, but a +3 to athletic skills.
Well, I'll just whip out the monster manual, I guess.
Oh damn, mastiffs are amazing.
Well, I mean, they're used as hunting dogs, so it makes sense that they'd be good in athletics.
Yeah, their medicine's
but the
a
monster
+6,
manual-
their survival's a +6.
I don't know what you're looking at, but the Mastiff in the monster manual only has one proficiency, and it's in perception.
I'm just looking at D&D Beyond's wild shape.
It's super wrong. Are you sure it's not accounting for your stats?
Oh, because I get my proficiency.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah. It must be adding your stuff, because Mastiffs only have perception proficiency, nothing else.
Yeah, because wild shape allows you to keep your proficiencies. So yeah, so I get a +3 to athletics.
Yeah.
Because it has one less score than I do. Alright. Yeah, I'll do athletics instead of acrobatics.
Okay.
Roll well.
15?
Total?
Yeah.
23.
And
That's a scruff grab dog.
I have my
Dog done got scruff grab.
He did.
I just. Hey, no. I'm not scruff grabbing you, or I will. Come here. Stop it.
Come
here.
I want to make sure
Come
my
here.
background works.
Yeah, so I reach out and I just grab her by the scruff and I'm just like, shh, stop, come here. Sorry, my own dog is causing problems.
No, just roll with it. You're talking to Kenna.
Alright, Kenna, it's okay. Please, just don't
Woof.
don't woof.
Kind of barks.
It's like, I'll get you anything you want at this bar. Anything. Just leave it alone. Just
He
trust
looks
me.
to
Just
Nikolai.
leave it alone.
Oh, they,
And then she just like...
Just shrugs, dog shrugs.
No, like, just sinks her head down, like, okay, now let me go.
Alright, I let her go.
I sit next to the bar, and then I lay
Alright.
down.
Okay.
But what is so interesting about that lady?
It's old
Kinda
news,
sounds-
alright? It's fine. It's really just complicated, so don't
I'm gonna reply to them.
Don't worry
too.
about
I
it.
think I'm gonna be
and
Oh,
I
don't want it to be forgotten.
look down at Kenna and I say, so what do you want?
Oh, yeah.
Kenna.
She just looks up at you and just shakes her head.
That does not stop.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. That does not stop the gifts. Yeah. Rose, you got that bottle still?
No, he drank it all.
All at once. Ryan, you there?
Yeah.
You got that bottle still?
What of Okanyar whiskey?
Yes.
I think Nikolai has it.
It's sitting on the bar.
I take it. I take like a whiskey glass if there's one around and just like pour a little bit in and I put it on the ground for Kenna. And then
There isn't a whiskey glass yet because the bottle hasn't been opened yet, so there's been no glasses provided.
all right, I request a whiskey glass.
Okay. The Norval will swing around with the glass. He will set 2 down because there's a group of you, so he's at least assuming at least more than one person is going to participate in drinking it. And then he will open the bottle with a little bit of, a little bit of a pep in his step, and pour 2 glasses. And then when he sees you lower it down to the ground, he just gives you a look.
The dog's doing me a favor.
You know that'll probably kill the dog, right?
That's fine. She's hardy. I leave the other one for Lars.
Oh yeah, that's fine for me. It gets me drunk, why don't you?
Fine, I'll drink it.
No!
Oh dear.
He grabs it and he's like, this stuff is expensive and really nice, okay?
It's actually like 75 gold a bottle normally.
Hello, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I know. Yeah, and then I'm just trying to keep a low profile, waiting for food to come around.
I assume that both of you are going to stay in the same room. Looks at Gwen Nikolai.
Do you want to?
If it suits you, boss, I don't mind.
I don't really care.
There we go. No kisses. No
Just
kisses.
Edelweiss, just trying to suppress a grin.
Good.
What are you smiling about?
I haven't had my own room in quite a bit. I do love some alone time, especially when I have to be in with a group of strangers for several weeks.
And just so this is the a quick mock-up
no,
token.
she
I have official artwork for the character that I'm going to use, but this is
It's official artwork.
yeah, this is the best reference I could quickly throw together in a token.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's big.
So
picture.
yeah, so you guys are all keenly aware.
Wait. Where is it?
Well, it should have highlighted for you, but it's
Oh, that.
on the page.
Ooh. Interesting.
I also thought I would have to bunk with someone else. So this is a pleasing change of events.
More power to you. Alright, the dog is gone. What are you doing? Well, just so long as we're all in agreement with that. And she just sort of nods back across the room.
Wow. Agreement.
Oof.
I would like.
Oh no.
I would
Is
like
the
to
dog
know
drunk?
Not yet.
Thank you.
But if you want it to be left alone for now, I would like to hear that story though.
Trust me when I tell you, you don't. Gwen looks down at Kenna.
Headbutts Gwen.
What can I get for you?
Just
She's Okay, I'm scratching her ears.
no,
There.
she's like rubbing like her snout, like pawing, like she's like trying, like if she was scratching her face.
Oh yeah.
Your
she
plates
trying
of
to tell
food are
me
delivered,
something? Okay.
along with a couple of bones for the doggos to gnaw on.
Looks over to Nikolai, scratch his face. Huskies make a lot of whining noises.
They
Yes,
do.
I do.
Little
You
Timmy
want more
falling
scratches?
well.
Alright. Can I roll insight on the husky? I don't know what it's trying to say to me.
Sure.
Can I have advantage because I know how dogs talk?
No. You can only understand dogs when you are a dog.
Aw, come on.
No.
Body language, though. All right. Well, this is an insight.
Yeah.
18.
Okay. Kenna, what exactly are you trying to belay here?
Can only stay dog as long till mask. As in, what can you do for me? I need a mask. I need face covering.
Gotcha.
Time is ticking.
Yes, I like to think after enough like head scratching on you guys, and you guys are just like, Kenna as a husky just eventually goes like this, and then Gwen just gets it.
Oh shit. About what time is it, Dyer?
It's not been super long. You guys have probably been here for about 25 minutes.
All right. Mask. Probably not something you would find at a general store. My official run through town. Was there any sort of like tailor or anything? Armorer maybe?
There is a blacksmith and there is a tanner and tailor here.
All right.
Lars will look around the tavern and see if he can actually see like any sort of masks that are hung up around the tavern.
Perception check.
She's got to get something to cover her face. I'm gonna Gwen looks over her shoulder at the table where the... I'm sorry?
That was a 2, but I want to re-roll that.
Sure, go for it, champ.
That's a 16 total.
That's pretty good. There's not anything in the way of a mask hung up on the walls of the tavern. There are a lot of hunting trophies that are decorations here. You know, the classic, deer antler chandelier. Very, taverns. Oh, geez, I forgot the character's name. I'm so upset with myself. Taverns by Gaston. There we go. That's the whole bit. Everything's made, anything that can be made out of an antler is made out of an antler. There are heads of bears and dire wolves and various impressive, deer and elk hunts, etc., etc.
Gwen said that she wrapped around a scarf around Kenna's neck as a bandana.
Yes.
Kenna, would that and he'll indicate to his neck the scarf bandana. Would that work?
All right.
Lars will point out we could just buy one of these things that are hanging up on the wall.
You want to put a whole bear head on top of Kenna?
Yep. No, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take her and I'm gonna go try to find. And she says this and she looks over her shoulder at that table and she's like, I'm gonna go try to find something that's still open. You mind coming with me? Stoic dog.
She,
And for the time being, I'm pretty sure that scarf can work.
If need be.
Also, change up.
she shook her head no. And she's trying to figure out how to convey it, and then looks up at Nikolai and just blinks a bunch.
Okay. Fine.
Maybe I should come with.
Yeah.
No. You're both coming,
Yes.
or?
No.
I will. I think. It's getting dark after all.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sit here, stay around here and ask some questions. So, while you do that, might as well get a head start. I'm trying to learn some information.
Fair enough. All right. Lars, mind keeping an eye on him.
Keep an eye on who?
Not at Nikolai.
He'll be fine.
Sure.
Goes back to drink.
Yep. And then I'm just gonna head on out with Kenna, hopefully in tow. Once again, trying not to pick up any.
I'm coming with you.
Why are you doing that?
I literally said, I'll
Yes.
go with you, and you did not say anything.
Why are you doing this?
Split the party.
Yes.
What do you mean? We're already gonna be split.
Yeah, I mean, except the two drinking at the bar, you know, they were the easy ones.
What are you guys doing? Drinking at the bar?
Unless
what are you talking
one
about?
really wants me to stay, then I'll have to stay.
That's fine. She would just give you like a weird look, and just carry on out the door. Do you need a
I'll
stealth check
pretend
from me?
Do you want to slip out unnoticed?
I'm just trying not to get any attention.
I'm asking you the question. I only need the answer. If you don't
Well, I
want to be
rolled a
noticed, then it's a stealth check. Stealth check.
You don't just roll the stealth check.
I rolled a natural 1, so I didn't want to be noticed, but I'm being noticed.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I like to think that it's because you can't grab my scruff at the moment. We're walking out. I just go. Hoof, hoof.
It's the whiskey settling in.
Don't woof.
Because it's the husky constitution, not Kenna's constitution.
Wow.
Yeah, and you're not paying attention because you're paying attention to the husky that's making all the noises that you're with, and you bump into one of the patrons on the way out, and they drop their glass.
Shit,
and it's just like, hey, come on, watch where you're going. And then it's just like, yeah, you get a couple of glances up from the interior of the bar. And Gwyn, you have a very tense moment where you make eye contact. Where you see the very cordial smile that was kind of like half in a laugh, lock eyes, and then it just immediately fades to a flat line. And just a hard stare down as you're heading out the door.
I only say.
I just put my head down and I keep on walking. I just clap a gold piece to that man's chest and I just grab Edelweiss by the hand and I just keep on walking.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere behind you guys, as you're storming off, you hear the guy that Gwen bumped into go, "Drinks on me!" And you hear a couple of guys cheer.
Again, I've Lars laughs because it's like this has happened to me. Literally, is the same thing.
This is what happens when you don't woof, or when you do woof.
Wolf around and find out. Am I right?
I assume I hear the
wolf
guy say
around and
drinks.
find out.
I assume I hear the guy say drinks on me and kind of just starts. It's like we're walking.
Kenna's a dang meme when she's drunk.
It's not even drunk. It's just like a little bit tipsy. If anything, I blame the choice of husky more than anything.
Yep,
Yeah, no,
it's totally the husky.
Yeah, about to say, yeah. Huskies have mischief in their genes. It doesn't matter that they happen to have a glass of whiskey in them.
I meant the air horn wolf.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, buddy?
Well.
Yeah, we're going. We're gonna go.
Yeah, no, yeah. You guys are like halfway down the street.
So how do I act next time if we ever interact with her?
We don't interact with her. You see her, you turn and go the other way. And that goes for you too, and I point to the dog. We don't interact with her. She doesn't like me.
There's only so much running away could do. If I had a cue, then...
No. We just don't. If she doesn't come to you, you don't go to her, you don't interact with her.
But Kenna does the play thing where dogs, like, they throw their front paws out. You know what I mean? When they jump back, and then she goes,
yeah.
and growls.
Play bow.
Very well. If I have my forced interaction, cordiality, then.
Yes, I appreciate and then she just turns to Kenna and she's like, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but just listen, just take my word on this one. But let's find a mask and get out of the street. And she keeps moving.
As a quick aside, because it was mentioned earlier, Edelweiss, what do you look like now under your disguised self?
Same as usual, just like a reddish, just like a masculine looking tiefling.
Don't woof. Don't woof.
The usual disguise.
Hargy just woofed and it might have killed me. Don't woof.
Alright. Alright, and you guys are looking for some place to make a purchase at, right?
Yes.
Also, I want to say to them,
Come here. Come here, Congo.
You should be thankful I disguised myself prematurely.
Okay.
Just a sidelong look and no response.
I know she is.
Is what?
You know.
No, I don't.
Fine.
Alright.
Yeah, Gwen. You know.
You
I
know.
don't know. Let's go. We're looking for a place to buy a mask.
Yeah, investigation check.
Okay. I guess I had to roll a 1 at some point in the session. That's
Yes, you
so
did.
much better.
And it was
That's
hilarious.
And it was
Can
what?
I,
Hilarious.
since I actively know what I'm looking for, can I guidance this?
Dirty 20.
Sure. Tack a D4 onto that.
I meant to do my own investigation check,
Oh.
honestly.
Oh.
That was on me.
Never mind.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. It's not as good. It's way not as good.
Nope.
Well, I just don't want to. I don't want to give the D4 to where I didn't intend it to be.
All right. Well, Miss Gwyn, as you are walking down the streets with generic tiefling and average but annoying husky, you look around trying to find a place to purchase a mask.
She's delightful, just chatty.
It became quite obvious that at this juncture, the town has more or less kind of closed up for the evening. Do a real quick thing and roll me a D100. We're going to see if there's someone at the shop that you find.
Good luck.
12.
12.
12.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Good thing it's not 4.
You find what you go down to the center of town and you kind of peer up and down and you look down the section that is clearly a bit of a stretch of shops and workers areas, hoping to find a tailor or general goods store, the blacksmith, anything. And as you start making your way down there, you're looking around, and a lot of the interiors of these stores have no lights whatsoever. You manage to find the general goods store, a tailor, the blacksmith, and the tanner all in the same lane. But it does not appear that anyone is currently there.
Fuck. How much time you got left? And I look down at Kenna.
It's been about 40 minutes. So a little over an hour.
Kenna just throws up one paw.
It was a likely possibility, but there's always tomorrow.
About what time?
Shame.
About what time do they hop up around here?
Who you are?
Probably.
So you're speaking in Gwen's voice. So I think, are you asking the heir or are you asking the DM? Because I can't tell.
I'm asking you. Sorry.
Damn it! Get out of character when necessary. No, I'm kidding. It's great.
Get out of there, Gwen. I'm trying to talk to Al.
Yeah. I don't know. You're not a native here. You have no idea. But if you think they closed down this early, you suspect they're up. You suspect things are working very early in the morning. So.
By
Well,
the sun.
Kenna, if they'll probably be up early enough that we can find something for you in the morning. Right now, it's just unless you want to break into a store,
Would likely not find
Why would you
she
suggest
says that she says that and she looks out like across the street and then she just like narrows her eyes and slowly looks back to her. But we're not gonna do that.
Pouting husky.
Can the dog break into a store? Unless you want to break in, which we can't. We need to. It might be a safer bet to just stay in the tavern for tonight, and we can head out in the morning and grab you.
Or you can always camp outside as you planned.
True.
Either way.
I'm afraid of guard patrols out there.
Kind of like snorts, huffs and puffs. Arf. And then walks back towards the tavern.
Such a shame. I quite like her mask. It's unfortunate it's so conspicuous.
We could break into a store.
Just a silent but strongly abbreviated sigh just comes out of Nikolai's mental thought.
But then she remembers who she's working for, and she's like, no, nope.
Sips more tea.
You should.
We could break into a store.
Although, Gwen, you should probably stay outside for a time if you're so concerned.
Say, well, safety in numbers. If I do recall correctly, safety in numbers. Though, if Nikolai permits it, I might tag along with Canada to sleep outside of town this evening. Big growl, big no. Alright.
Long story short, Kenna's already made her way towards the end.
Alright. Gwen and I
for
imagine
y'all to get there
Yeah.
so she can go inside.
I imagine Gwen and Idolice are like following behind. And that's why big growl and head shake. Is there a back door to this place?
You're gonna find out later, because I'm gonna cut to the guys drinking in the bar. Because you had your time. Now I'm gonna talk to the appraisal boys and see what they're up to. So, you're inside the Tipsy Ram. Yeah, the place is popping off. It's busy. People are enjoying themselves, other than the awkward bit of tension that happened earlier when someone dropped the drink. The meal is wonderful. Roasted vegetables, lots of root-based stuff, turnips and potatoes, roasted boar, quite delicious. The hospitality here is nice. Everyone's smiling and happy and willing to help or refill a drink on a moment's notice. So what are the two of you respectfully doing?
Nikolai is going to ask. I literally just looked at his name, Norville. Hey, Norville.
Yes.
Two things. One, any rumors about town? Something interesting.
Well, let me see. I'm sure you've probably seen one of them on the way into town. We have a wanted poster up for a beast that attacked not too long ago. Frightful creature. Looks like a demon goat. I really don't know how else to talk about it. It's what burned down the logging camp some time back. Guard captain seems pretty unnerved about it. We have a curfew, so no one out on the streets except guards. Let's see. Demon goat. Some of the hunters have been talking about some weird things they've been seeing out in the woods. They say they keep coming back after their hunts, saying that they see people running around at night, but they can never find or catch any of them. So they're either being led astray by a dangerous creature or seeing things. I'm not really sure. Between me and you, I think some of the hunters eat some of the mushrooms they forage, and they're not, quite for the normal populace, if you know what I mean. Yes. Other than that, nothing too interesting.
Who's the main hunter that talks about these people?
Lars will put a hand on Nikolai's shoulder and go, that would be Morris.
Yes.
He's the head hunter around here.
Well, they don't really have a hierarchy. He's just the most seasoned. And they all come in and out, so I've heard tales from all of them.
Interesting.
He's the one that brought me to you guys, that helped me find you guys when I was stuck in town for an extra day. He seems like a very nice guy, very good at his job, and very welcoming as well.
Good to know, because I wouldn't mind talking with him.
Oh, you'll enjoy it. He's a good drinker too, and he likes playing. He likes playing games. If you like gambling.
Yeah. Don't hate it, don't love it. I play from time to time. Other than that, you say the captain of the guard has been a little bit shaken up by this. When does he usually work? Or because I would like to see him.
Oh, well, he's a busy man, keeping an eye on the town, especially with the curfew. He's out on patrol right now. He usually swings by a little bit later in the night, around 7, to just see how everyone's doing and talk to a couple of people. He's not one for drinking much, so he doesn't really sit and stay very long. But otherwise, he works until roughly 8 or 9, and then I know he goes home and sleeps, and he wakes up early with the rest of the town.
Well, if he comes around here, then I'll wait, because there's some things I'd like to talk with him.
Well, he's hard to miss. Tall, well-built fellow. Wears armor of the guards, sword, shield, helmet. Pretty hard to miss.
I've heard as such. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, the food was delicious, and I'm just gonna sit and listen. We've been out in the forest for a few weeks now, and it's I tend to not like it. I like the sounds of towns and cities more, so it's nice.
Perhaps it was some of you that the hunters were seeing out in the woods.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. We can seem a little scary on first approach.
Who knows? You said you had another point to ask on, yeah? Or was that just about Captain Kanan?
That was mostly about Captain Kanan, but the first point blended nicely with the second, so
fair enough.
That's that. Yeah. Other than that, I guess a second point could be, besides the that one hunter, any other names of the hunters that have been talking about it?
Like I said, I heard tales from I don't know, 5 or 6 of them over the course of the last week or so. Which is a good number of them. If you want to speak to them, there's a lodge that the hunters keep just on the outskirts of town. Just pop in tomorrow sometime. I'm sure there'll be a handful of them you can talk to.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
And because I don't like odds, he'll for the information and the nice hospitality, he'll slap down another gold.
You'll happily scoop it up.
Come back to.
Amidst this, Nikolai, with your great passive perception, you notice a group of people leave out of the corner of your eye. When you sort of glance over, because the bar, you're at the bar, right? And the door is just over here. So it's not too far for you just sort of glance over to your left and see individuals as they're coming and going. And you see that the individual with the bright, long red hair is currently exiting. Along with her 2 compatriots.
He'll lean over to Lars. Well, I hope that those 2 don't run into each other. That would be fun.
Sorry again. Sorry, I've been drinking. Sorry, what's going on?
Gwen's friend just left.
Oh, well, I'm sure that they'll meet up and it'll be fine.
That is something. He'll turn back to Norval. That red-haired lady in the nice armor. What's word around town about her?
Lady Mordrin. She's popped in the last couple of days after hearing about the incident and the bounty that's been put out. She brought some hunters with her, and she's looking into the issue. She's near as I can tell, an expert in slaying, paranormal and unusual creatures.
Interesting. Thank you.
Lars goes wide-eyed. Looks away, but goes wide-eyed, like literally in the gif that I've put in chat.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the nice atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. And the atmosphere is wonderful. Meanwhile, back somewhere else in town, as you guys are cutting back down away from the Trader's Road, as you get to the center of town and you begin heading back towards the tavern, it is where you see spaced out before you on the central road, about 100 or so feet away from the tavern, 3 individuals, all of them brandishing weapons and staring down at the 3 of you at the other end of the road. At the head of them is a woman with flaming red hair, shield and sword in hand. And she just looks down the way, making eye contact with Gwen.
Can I say one thing?
No.
Well, you asked. It's whether or not if you would or you wouldn't at that point.
This isn't a werewolf thing, is it?
It's none of your business, is what it is.
It is now.
And then
Take her.
the woman goes, "So have you been staying out of trouble?" And that's
Of course
what
I
we're in
have.
session.
Spicy! Spicy!
Well then. God. I do not regret leaving the She needed me. Fuck off.
This is perfect. This is everything I hoped for. This is everything and more. This is better than what I was trying to get to happen. This is chef's kiss.
You know what's perfect? I like in my mind when Nikolai asked the question of him to this of the bartender to describe her, it just cuts to her walking as he's describing her.
Yeah,
Walking
yeah.
up on-
Right.
Yeah, just like starting from the toe up, like showing off the immaculately kept armor, the rune-etched sword, the holy symbol plastered onto the shield, and then cutting up to just like the flowing red hair just sort of billowing in the cold wind of the snow.
Oh, rune-etched sword and holy symbol on the shield.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
a paladin from the past.
She is a killer of things supernatural.
Or a cleric. Paladin
Oh,
or a
important
cleric.
thing.
You'll find out.
Should we? We're closing off the night. Should we roll D100 prematurely?
Actually,
combat.
that's a fair question, but well, actually, Gwen's already burned her, so Gwen's was sort of like the potentially the oddball situation where she might have used it if something breaks out. Yeah, I'll take some preemptive D100s. But if something comes up and you guys decide to use them in the middle of the session prior to the end of the night, you're going to re-roll a new one.
Oh, that's totally fine.
Wolf around and find out.
Wolf around and find out. That's officially the new slogan, by the way.
No.
Wolf around.
Is it wolf or woof?
Woof.
Woof.
Wolf around and find out.
Don't
Okay.
woof.
Okay,
Woof.
let's.
Woof.
You guys want to roll? Except Gwen.
I'm gonna die, Congo. She's gonna bully me.
You're the one that wrote this character into your backstory.
I certainly did. I've been waiting for her to show up.
Dire.
I'm
She's
so
gonna
excited.
make, she's gonna make you her
Dire.
beta.
So is there
my
a reason we should roll if we might use it before the night's over?
I mean, you can choose to or not, but if you roll it in, so the reason why we're talking about rolling it in advance is that if you roll something good, I can do some pre-planning the week before, and set something up for you that
Yeah,
night.
that's what I want.
Yeah, it's nice sometimes, but it's not always necessary. I'm okay with doing things on the fly too. So if you just want to not for some odd reason right now, because like I said, 2 of you are in threat of potentially having to re-roll, and if both of you roll like really, really freakishly well, but then you get into a fight and you maybe end up using it, and you don't, and you have to re-roll, you might feel bad. So you can just not, or you can.
I
So
got
it's
a
up to you.
number. I got a number.
Yeah, what's the number?
9.
Oh boy! All right, next session's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Super spicy.
Do I roll?
Well, while you
That is
consider that,
one-
Kenna, Lars, Nikolai, you guys want to get yours in now or later?
How you feeling, Ryan?
I want to
How you feeling?
I want to know how well I am with the drink first.
How many drinks have you had?
Yeah. I have felt anxiety.
I feel like I'm just about to finish that 1 pint that I've got.
Okay. Well then, just roll me a con check right now then. Let's see how you're doing.
I low-key hope I don't have to roll this later. Again, because I kind of want to see what happens with a 9. My intention is to probably use it for the drink.
17.
You're doing good.
What now? Do I want to use my D100? I mean, the thing is that I'm thinking. I mean, I don't want to. Like, if there's going to be a fight happening, I do want to keep it. But at the same time, I would happily. I would probably wait until I go to sleep.
Alright, let's roll it. Come on, let's roll it. Sorry.
Like I said, there's no evidence of a fight. There's just tension.
Let's roll it. Alright, Ryan. I'll roll. You want to roll? You want to roll with me?
On. Yeah, I'll roll with you.
Alright. I'll also roll with you. Let's all do it.
Alright, everybody roll down.
Count it down. It's gonna be on go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Mine came out.
From me.
Not terrible.
I got a 28.
You got a 28? I got an 88.
I got a 63 for. Woo.
So, me and Hargy next week, I guess. For an idea 100.
88?
More Edelweiss.
Yeah. I knew it was gonna happen. I thought it would happen earlier.
I don't expect anything to happen.
Or next week.
Unless it's over like 90 and up, because I just on average roll higher than 70.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and generally that's the rule of thumb: 90 and up or 10 and below.
Yeah.
Those are the general numbers I look at. Well, especially for generic D100s, the range is always a bit tighter. Versus if you have a specific thing, and if the ask isn't super huge, then sometimes the DCs can be lower. The DCs are pretty loosey-goosey, and I have really no set way of deciding how I make them every time.
Loosey-goosey.
Pray for me, because if this goes into a dream, it's gonna be
me.
Because otherwise I'd re-roll it.
Are we still on stream?
Yes.
Oh.
I haven't done my. I didn't do my outro yet.
Yeah, let's say goodbye to our
You guys rolled right into asking things.
Oh, we're
I had
so
to ask
excited
about the
though.
rolling because it should be on stream.
So excited.
We could just tell them next week. Anyway, they all know now, and the 9, that's spicy. That means things are happening next week more than we already thought. But you guys don't know what this one will be. Only I do.
Tune in to find out.
Next episode of Not Dragon Ball, the thing I won't finish. Anyway, I guess that's it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Moonrise next week, same time, same place, every Tuesday. Tomorrow, new campaign starting, the Orphaned Honor campaign, starting very early in the morning, 10 a.m. EST, and if you're me, it's 7 a.m. PST, because I love myself and my players. And we've got a great crew set up for that. All the characters are wonderful, and they all have character art and stuff, and it's sweet. The whole setting is based in a gigantic super city, which is more or less the size of a whole country. Geliath on the continent of Runan, which you've probably heard of and talked about briefly if you've seen anything from the Convergence campaign. So it's great. I highly recommend tuning in to watch if you're awake. Or if you've got the free time. Or both. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching.
Please.
Woof around and find out, and stay frosty. All right. We'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.